I was just telling my boy over here. I was saying I just relocated cities, so that's why I've been off the grid for a little bit. I've been I just recently started a new job and relocated cities. I'm in Columbus, Ohio now. Before most of you know, I was in Dayton, Ohio. But yeah, I'm in the epicenter. I'm in the mecca of the Buckeye State. So yeah, before we go any further, I just want to introduce my guy, man. We've been waiting for this one, haven't we?
Yeah, it's
I
been a
think it's
while.
I think it's what it was. What shoot, man, is a few months ago we actually got on the phone and we was talking about getting on the podcast together.
There's a lot of things that popped up through that time too. A lot of great things that happened. I feel like successful to what I've been trying to get. And there's been a lot of inspirational people that come and talk to me, and let me know how I've been doing in their life. And it's real refreshing because when you got your head down, you really don't know who's actually paying attention until they come up there and let you know
Yeah,
what type of impact that you have given into their life. So it's been a lot of humbling things here for the last couple of months. There's been a lot of people that I
yeah,
didn't realize supported me as hard as they did. And I like to tell them thank you. First quarter.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
to
yeah.
everybody.
I mean,
Real.
we just, we're talking about legacy here, and yeah, that's one of those things that, like we want to when we talk about legacy, we talk about what how we how we carry ourselves and what people see on the outside, but then of course that people want to really know what is Marcus thinking, what is his heart, like what is he going to do, what is he going to do for other people and for the community and even just anybody that comes in contact with them. um but yeah, this is my good friend Marcus Smith. We served together back in Iraq, like I said. uh we're in the Air Force. How long were you in, brother?
15 years. I
15
got medically
years.
separated. Yeah. Medically separated at 14 years overseas. I had a chance
Yeah.
to spent a little time in England, 7 years in England, 4 years in
Yep.
Japan, and like 3 years in Spangdahlem, Germany. Yeah.
Shoot, man, places I
Without going to
never.
Korea for the military, people not going to Korea. I had a great Air Force career.
I
Yeah.
did that tour for you, so you can enjoy Europe a little bit.
That sounds horrible. Yeah, that did sounds horrible. That sounded
I appreciate your service, brother.
horrible.
Thank you, man.
Man,
Um,
look, we both serve, man. Hey, if it sometimes, man, I never got a chance to really. I know we talked for a little bit, and never really got a chance to really thank you because we used to go to the gym together. We the loaded bombs together, loaded missiles
oh
together.
yeah,
We
we
taught people how to load.
hi,
We got the little one over here now. What you looking for?
hey.
Need a what? Oh,
What's up, man?
well, yeah, yeah, that's what's up. There's many. Yeah, I got him here chilling with me today. It's an auspicious occasion. That was my word for the day to use. Auspicious. Can't spell it, but I'm telling you
A
that now.
special.
But
Hey, they know what you mean. The audience know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, man. Like I want to give you thanks, man, for these opportunities, man, because it'll help not only get everything out there in the light, and from the time that we did spend together for a lot of the interesting things that only people a part of the military can really, no matter what branch, can really grasp onto outside of the civilian population because
Sure.
a lot of them think that just everybody's getting shot at, getting beat up on, and getting all types of weird. No, like I know from my experience, I had a great time.
Right.
I enjoyed serving my country. I enjoyed the people. People always ask me, "Do you miss it?" No, I miss the people.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
say a majority of the people who I contact with or made a connection with, we still have a conversation from time to time.
Yep.
There's still a lot of things that we actually do. There's a lot of things that we see each other growing. And I like to tell you, congratulations and thanks for giving me an opportunity to be able to talk about some of the stuff that Marcus got
And
going on in his mind.
it's an
It's a lot of
honor.
people don't know.
Yeah, it's an honor and it's a pleasure. I just left so here in Columbus is the headquarters for Rogue Fitness. and Rogue Fitness. For any of you out there, if you are affiliated with CrossFit or no CrossFit, or just uh, gym in general, Rogue Fitness is American made fitness equipment, and they're headquartered here in Columbus. So I just left there, and one of the workers there, he he was asking, so because I wear a hat with the Air Force the patch on my hat, and so
Yeah.
he saw it and he's like, hey, so have you served? And I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I was in for a little while, and I said the exact same thing that you just said. It's crazy. And he asked me, he said, do you have any advice for me? Or I said, you know what, man, there's really no one way to start your career and end your career. Everybody, starts different, they end different. To me, as long as you serve, and or you serve your country, like that's the main thing. I applaud anybody that does that, right, and make that sacrifice
True.
for their family as well. But he asked, he said, like, he said, so what is it like, and I said the exact same thing. I said, man, I love what I did, because he asked me what I did, and I said, I love what I did. Like, we slanged a lot of iron together, and we loaded a lot of
Okay.
bombs and munitions, and um,
Selling out the whole, talking trash, the
talking
whole
talking trash. Uh,
15 years of jokes. Nothing has really changed. Nothing for me has really changed joke wise. I just hit you deeper now. Like I can
you
get one
can
instead
now,
of like,
yeah.
yeah, well, I did then. Like I didn't care.
Listen, if Marcus wasn't talking smack, something was wrong. Like,
Yeah, you need to check on.
Mark,
You needed to check
Mark,
on.
Mark, you all right? Mark, you
Yeah, you
kind of
straight,
quiet,
yeah.
bro. You kind of
I'm
quiet.
all
Don't
right.
in,
You know what I mean?
I don't want to I don't want to slang any. You know what I mean? If you ain't ready. But anyway, yeah. So I told him, I said, yeah, I love what I did, and everybody has different jobs, and I said, but the what's going to make your career great is the people around you, and if you have
Yeah,
great
man.
great supervision around you, which I was fortunate to have. I told him, I said, I was fortunate to have great people around me, and
Hmm.
I actually they steer me in the right direction, and they like you just said, it's the camaraderie, and
Yeah,
for me,
man.
Marcus was one of those guys. Iraq. I don't know if any of you watching or listening to this podcast, if you've ever been to Iraq or Afghanistan, the environment is pretty intense. Um, but I had Marcus there. Marcus he always will be. He was a brother to me. Always will be a brother. Always kept me, in line. At the same time, he balanced it out with, like he said, we talk smack to each other. But Marcus was the
Huh.
one that was keeping you in it, keeping your head in the game, and keep making you laugh, man. You know what I mean? And so that's what it's about, that brotherhood. Like you said, most people want to understand that, though.
But that's one of the things too. Like I definitely appreciate you guys. You guys actually, in a way, helped me me to where I am today. Not only through the military, that was my way of expressing myself and trying to get myself. Because I know everywhere that we've been, all the stuff that we've done, that's some really heavy stuff mentally and spiritually, bro. Like loading up that next bomb, and you wanted to leave the jet, but you don't because you know
Yeah,
what the outcome is.
sure.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
trying to, at a very young age, imagine 18, 19 years old, deal with that task. You know what I mean? Like a lot
Right.
of people don't really realize that. Like,
No.
and we're doing it away from our actual families.
Right.
So we're doing it away from our families and trying to make sure everybody's family in the United States is safe.
Right.
That's a lot for a teenager to
Absolutely.
be able to accept and be like, hey, I got to grow up through this. And
Not even old enough
I
to
know
drink
the
yet.
mental, yeah, like you can't even nothing, and you sit up there loading a lot of iron, warheads on foreheads, and you saying the chant, you really don't know what that means. You know
Right.
what I mean? A little bit
Right.
later on, you don't know what it's for. You don't know. All you know is I get my paycheck on the 1st or 15th. I'm out here in this exotic country. When do I get off?
Right.
When will I be able to go where the places that I seen on TV? And I was luckily enough to have a family that wanted to travel. I wish I would have traveled a little bit more, but duty called. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
a lot of growing, man. And another thing around that time, a lot of people don't know is that's when I was already trying to cut hair around that time, but
Yeah.
right around that time, you and shout out to Daniel Norfleet,
No flee.
everybody in the 13th and 14th MU out there at the 35th. You
Got a
know what I
lot of
mean? Out there in the
got a
South
lot of
Chain,
free
man. There's a
haircuts
lot of
from this
stuff that
man.
happened. Hey, look, man, and you know what? It built me to the point to where, man, I feel knocking on like I'm so grateful for you guys giving me the opportunity to do what I eventually found out that was my passion. Right, I always like to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Did
mean? I've
you
always been
know,
drawn.
like, obviously you were skilled in that, but did you know that eventually that was going to be your livelihood? Did you know that?
I thought about it. I never told it. I told a few people this story. Like, what really got me synced in. I remember my first barber,
Mhm.
Mr. Leroy Kimball, was my
Okay.
first barber. So if anybody in Turner County listening, all the Lawson family and the Kimball family, you know what I mean? Like, I remember my first haircut. I remember my dad used to take me there to get my haircut, and then he ended up moving out of that place, coming into his house. So he converted his garage into a barbershop. I ended up later on in my career doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never forgot that guy. He had an old Fred Sanford truck. You know how the truck Fred Sanford had?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had one of those. And I remember at the spare time, everything on the side. Fire truck red. But then as I pushed on a little bit later on, a little bit over my teenage years, my dad asked me to cut his hair. And I missed that joker so much. But he said, son, cut my hair. And I was like, okay. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that was the moment my dad and I shared barber wise because he used to see him get straight shaves, you know what I'm saying, hot towel shaves and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And I always be interested until I got one later on in my career when I was in Lakenheath actually. I went up to Edinburgh and I got me a hot towel shave from this Turkish barber shop.
Yeah.
That my wife got this apartment while we were up there visiting, and it was right across from the room. Like literally, my wife and my daughter seen me get my hot towel shaved from the window of the apartment in a prime location, and I only
Yeah.
paid like what $13, $14 for it. But at the end of the day, that was like one of the best experiences.
Sure.
So right around that time, we follow up. We moved to Germany, and I said, you know what? I really want to do it again. And one of the person that helped me get all of that stuff together was he was my troop at the time. He ended up being a close brother of mine is Denzel Who. He said, you're gonna cut it till you get it right. And he showed up every week. And you know what I mean? So with all of my visions, my ideas, my dreams, how I work with now, like on top of y'all giving me the opportunity to grow in that location in Japan to the different places that I've been. Because the second time I went to England, I didn't even cut hair. I was too
Hmm.
far away, or I would
Yeah.
do my own.
Sure.
When I got to Germany, I moved on base. Now I'm having people that are freshly get off work to come get a haircut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are bypass the barbershop on base
Right.
to come by and see me. So I had to make an environment for what I would like to see. So that grew into something major, man, because that helped me be able to make my transition from getting out of the military to what did I actually want to do.
Sure.
And the only reason why I'm in Crestview, Florida, seriously, is I'm tired of going to places that snowed. And
Right.
because every country we went to snowed.
So
So
right. Yeah.
uh, a lot. So not only from that is I had my in-laws here, thank them for supporting me as well. Doris and Tom Frazee, they supported me a lot. My family, Dorales Smith,
Hmm.
Dahlia, my oldest, Marcus
Yeah.
Jr. He go with me to haircuts and stuff now. Yeah, I got
I
his
like it.
own. I got him. He
Uh-oh.
going to school with me. I
Apprenticeship.
got him. Yeah, yeah, man. And this
Embedded
is everything that he
apprenticeship.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is everything that he wanted, man. But
So I gotta ask you. So
all the people.
let's
Yeah, go ahead.
let's let's rewind. Just to rewind a little bit. So when you were in England, right? You said you didn't cut hair at all.
Well, no, I stayed away for a little bit because the area that I stayed in was called Isleham, and it was like 15, 20 minutes away from base.
Okay.
But I
It was
really,
just
it
the
was more
location. It
of,
wasn't
it was just the location.
location.
It was just cause,
Gotcha.
you know what I
But
mean?
you were
But
still itching, and you were still.
oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
never,
yeah.
I never did it. I bought my clippers, man. I was cutting my own hair, so a lot of the times between that time was more of a self-cut practice. I
Gotcha.
was practicing my on myself and trying to see,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Man,
let me
that's
look at the
crazy.
video.
If you can cut your own hair, you can cut
Oh
anybody's
yeah,
hair.
yeah. Like I take less time cutting my hair than I do an actual client
Hmm.
because I
Interesting.
already know what time. I already know. And I'm talking about lines in the back, fade the
Sure.
back, do all of that. So
Sure.
when you get it to the point of where you know that you can actually do it, I think once I start dabbing on myself, I'm like, because you know how if I'm the guy that always tell the jokes and make fun of people, and I'm going into a realm to open it up to where I'm catching heat, then I gotta love
Right.
it. I mean, you know what I mean? And plus, man, even a shout out to Brandon Hillian too. Whenever we were going to all of those,
Yay.
because
That's my
honestly,
dude.
that's where we met.
Yay. Yeah.
That's actually where we met. So for the people that don't know, we worked in a place called Whipper Standardization.
Mr.
That's when
Hillian. Hello,
I'm talking
sir.
around 2000, it was around a little bit of 2007, right?
Mm.
So he just come in from PCS. Emilio Kaku did come in from West Coast. We were like, who the hell this mean short dude coming in,
Emilio.
not smiling? Yeah, who the hell is Emilio? So that opened up the whole Pandora's box of jokes. And
Oh
then he
my
was just
God.
always
Yes.
looking mean, like constantly constipated. Like, I don't know
Oh
where
my.
wrong with him. He got cramps everywhere. Like, he's the meanest guy. I don't even know what I'm like. We were like, we don't even know what he is. Do we say hola to him? Do we like we
Oh,
don't know the name? Yeah, like the name was kind of throwing us off. And then he was talking about, no man, I'm not that at all. And we were like, oh, we were wrong the whole time. But the jokes never stopped to the point where he started joking back, and then we were like, he all right with us. He's all right with us. And we had a pretty good, pretty good group there too.
oh
We had
yeah.
a pretty good group there,
D
man. But
Will. D Will
mostly,
was out there.
mostly Japan was the effort. Yeah, man. Man, old Freddie, old Terrence Howard, old Fred. He thought I wasn't gonna say it
Yeah.
on the whatchamacallit.
Johnny. That was at
Yeah, yeah,
Lobon crew,
Johnny
man.
Blaze.
Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, that
Wow.
old crew. Yeah, man. I end up
I
looking
know you guys out
for
there don't know who we talking about. We do. We know who we talking about. And if you guys are
you
listening,
in the wrong way, bro. I'm
if
live,
you guys
man.
are listening, he's all right. He's all right. If you guys are listening, man, shout out to you guys. You guys made Japan amazing. Like Marcus said, man, like, you guys did have a big part in my career, in my Air Force career. I don't know if you guys know this, but
Yeah,
yeah,
man. Like that whole game, bro. Like, did you? I don't know. You wasn't there. It was another guy by the name of Keith Lewis before you showed up, and I ended up seeing him like a
Keith.
couple months ago, and I ended up cutting it. Keith Lewis, yeah.
Oh,
I think he did like
Lewis is his last name, right?
yeah, Lewis is his last name,
You know
man.
what I'm
I
thinking about?
end
I'm thinking
up
about Keith Logan. Never mind.
him too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith. He doing
What's
good
up,
too.
Keith Logan?
These are
Yeah.
all the like honestly, these are all the everybody who I'm naming is all the people who I have and or like either just a lineup.
Right. No, sir.
Lineup or full haircut. These are the people that I want y'all to realize y'all helped me get to where I am because I had to go through all of that.
Sure.
And coming to Florida, it's been a while. So we're talking about the transition from knowing that I want this to be my livelihood. Right when I had a few jobs when I got out.
Hold on.
My first
Where are
job,
you originally from?
I'm originally from a place called Turner County, Georgia,
Okay. Okay.
with a population of next to nothing.
10.
Yeah, like
So
but what I'm saying is this,
I lived in Georgia. I lived in Valdosta, Georgia, which is
yeah, that was an hour and a half from
okay. Okay. I was gonna
Interstate
say,
75.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I
You
live.
you remember that town that had the big peanut inside of the crown? Right
Uh,
above Tifton, right below Cordell. You
I
knew it.
okay.
It was
Okay. I
one
know
point
Tifton. Yes. 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 Yep.
right up, like literally right above that, 16 miles above that. That's where I grew
Okay.
up.
All right. All
So
right. Yeah, I know
that
where
is
you
my
at.
area.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
know
is my
Tifton.
area. So
I know Tifton, Georgia very well. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So it's so going from there, and the upbringing that I had, my dad had his own job. You know what I mean? He had his own business. My dad was
Right.
a mechanic for like
Yeah.
30 something years, master mechanic.
Yeah.
And I remember right before I joined the Air Force, I told my dad like the first real lie, like the first real one. I said, "Hey, Dad, look, when I get a toolbox, it's only going to be for my car.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be working on anybody's car." And that lie was I had a toolbox with my name on it my entire Air Force career.
Yeah. Yeah. You did.
With my name on it.
Yeah.
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 Pushing the box
Yeah.
hard
Yeah. You
with my
did.
name on it.
Yeah. You did.
So when I told him, before he passed, when I told him, I think I just recently got married. So it was like 2003 around October time. And
Okay.
I said, "Dad, I lied to you." And I told him the story. I had to wait 10 minutes because he was laughing so hard about it. Because all he said was, "Oh, okay." That's all his response when I said it was, "Oh, okay." So now to tell him, I'm talking about he's dying laughing at this point over the phone. Like it kind of hurt my feelings, but I kind of realized that
Like what,
that
man?
dad moment.
I thought you was gonna be
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah, it was that dad moment. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
I ended
Yeah.
up having brothers. That my brother wasn't my oldest brother, Danny Jr. He was a mechanic in the army. My
Okay.
younger brother, of the twins, Tori, he ended up being a airborne ranger inside the military
Wow.
doing communication.
Oh, thank your
His
family for
twin
their
brother,
service, brother.
and look, and my brother did 20 years. My sister was in the Navy.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know what I
Wow.
mean?
Wow.
So a lot of things,
Awesome.
man. So the Air Force for me was something different from what everybody else was doing. Because I originally was supposed
Sure.
to go to the Marines
Right.
with my homeboy
I
Kevin
was supposed
Pate.
to
Shout
be.
out to Kevin Pate, hardcore.
I was supposed to be in the army. My
Yeah,
grandfather, both my grandfathers, they were both captains in the army. I had one grandfather, he was Green Beret Ranger, and then my dad, he was in the
yeah.
army, so like, and then I think it was like my 18th birthday or something. My dad gets me an MRE for my birthday gift. Like
Yeah, that was disrespectful a little bit.
a little bit, a little bit. It
Hey,
was it
that
was I
birthday.
remember this. It was vegetable marinara, so I wasn't too mad, but the
Oh
vegetable
yeah,
hey, the vegetable marinara is that's my jam. But
yeah.
um same. I wasn't even supposed to be in the Air Force. So yeah, it was different for me too. Everybody looked at me like
Yeah,
punk.
for real.
Really?
For real. Yeah, I don't want to work. You know what I mean?
I want a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah. Like all that. Because think about it, bro. We joined right after September 11th.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
sorry for everybody who lost loved ones.
That's what actually spurned me to join. I knew I was going to join. I just didn't know when. Um, so where
I'm gonna
were
be
you?
real.
Where were you when 9/11 happened?
I was going to Mrs. Reed's language arts class.
Oh, you were in school. Wow, that's crazy.
I graduated 2002.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
remember going to my second period language arts class. She was one of my favorite teachers. She gave it
yeah.
to me straight. She allowed me to be funny in class. You know what I mean? She
Yeah,
allowed me to be me, and I had a lot of slick stuff to say.
I
So
like
shout out
that.
to Sandra Faye, my mama, for the slick mouth, call her sassy. So so when all so when all of that happened, I was already in ROTC.
Okay, okay.
So
Getting ready
that
for the
had to be what
Marines,
my
though.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing: since I was in ROTC, and my instructors, Major Reginald Gavin and the late Son Hatcher, man, he those were the guys that actually solidified me not wanting to do any sport,
Sure.
just primarily ROTC,
Right. Right.
because they treated me in a sense of they taught me how to follow, but I'm learning from their leadership, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You know
No,
what I
yeah.
mean?
You're
Like
right.
I remember my first day of practice, and I looked at first sergeant and I said, "Hey man, I'm gonna be the leader of this team." He laughed in my face. You don't even know how to do the basic movements.
Hmm.
The next year, I was the co-captain, and then the year after that, I was running 3 to 14.
Yeah. It took you some
So it
time.
wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't a, yeah. So I'm talking about we built Raider teams. I was on a rifle team. That was a alternate. I had a squad leader. Like I was all of that. I was everything that to be the leadership. They tried to get me different types of
Yeah.
scholarships and everything to try to go.
I had a pastor tell me once, he said to be a great leader, you got to be a great follower. So
Yeah,
that makes a lot of
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, man. That was in my that was also in my upbringing too, because my dad said, if you know better, you do better. So now I need to
Absolutely.
get some of the information that I got. So if I feel like I learned in the Air Force, working with you guys, is how am I going to tell you to learn it when I don't know it?
Sure.
So I have to train you to replace me.
Right.
You guys are a reflection, because if anybody know anything about the weapons community, it's 3 to 4 people. So you got your one, two, three, and if you're working on volume, it's 4 men. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to rely on the person right next to you, because you got to take that responsibility, and you're dealing with billions of dollars of somebody else's money.
So
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
somebody's
Yeah,
money,
you're
right?
dealing. You They will send you to prison.
Man,
So
there were many
what the military
times.
don't
There were
play.
many
Yeah.
times I was like, oh, that's that's Lakeland Heath
Oh
time.
yeah. Let me make sure.
Oh,
Let me make sure my names. You go back checking records. Like, nope, I ain't touched it yet. I
on
didn't
me
touch it.
was not me.
Look. What scared me on my last appointment? I did air advisory. I did air advisory, and that particular mission was to help the Iraqis at the time to be able to transition from having our help to being on their own.
Oh wow, wow, wow,
And yeah, so I did that. So I was a trainer.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So instructing, I feel like more than hair cutting, I feel like instructing itself is in my blood, because my dad always taught me, if I know it, go ahead and teach it.
sure.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So if I can tell you what I'm doing, that means I know what I'm doing. You know what
sure.
I mean? So
Right.
I translated that skill inside of my actual haircut. So whenever you sit into my chair as a barber, half of the time, and this is what I tell my students as well. Shout out to AHW Barber, best Barber Academy.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Go ahead and
So
talk
they
about
gave me
this.
the
Go ahead and
opportunity.
talk. This is a community reach project, correct?
Listen, no. So a guy by the name of Adrian Wallace come from. Now, do you like the way I set that story up like that?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So no.
Yes. Transition.
So he is one of the guys that betted on me last. He was the guy
Mm,
that took a chance on me last, and I would like to give him a big shout out, because who's gonna hire a guy that's still in barber school to
mm.
be able to give
We
you the
talked about this a little
opportunity
bit. Yeah.
where
Right.
you can be able to feel safe enough to leave your own establishment. I'm talking about your baby. I'm talking about day in, day out, haven't had a vacation, to the time now that, hey Marcus, I feel like I can be able to do those things now.
Right.
And John C. Bartholomew the second, and I know I took his name up for real. I did that on purpose. So if you're watching, Zap. You know what I mean? If all the people at the shop too, and I hope you guys are watching, y'all go ahead and get one of these two. Y'all go ahead and get one of those, and then we're gonna go ahead and roll out. But no, he took an opportunity. No, he took an opportunity on me, man, and and I'm thankful for it because um I can be able to impact more with less.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I love barbering, and all of my students, everybody from September to currently, when I
yeah.
was in school and graduated to currently, these guys are going to be some of the best barbers in the area, if not period.
Where what
Because we're
area?
getting people who would drive. It's in Pensacola. It's in Pensacola,
Pensacola.
Florida.
Okay.
It's in the Panhandle, Pensacola,
Okay.
Florida. And
So these kids
and
that you
I
reach
and
out
I was
to are
going.
these kids you reach out to, what do you, how do you
Oh,
network?
so for the kids and the outreach. So what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do, I'm trying to be able to get some of my students that have diverse group of students that can be able to go into i.e. detention centers, centers
Wow.
for young youth and young boys
Wow.
uh, that have been in trouble.
Sure.
They're actually in jail. They're in the juvenile
Wow.
detention centers or all of that. So I'm trying to be able to give them an outlet because the buzzword for anybody that's in the detention center, and I hope I say it right, is recidivism.
Mm,
They go back. What's wrong with these kids? These
reviticism. You
kids
got it.
don't know
Yep.
how to learn. These kids don't go anywhere. They don't know what to do. Tagging
Right.
on to an inspirational story. So I
I'm
used to
getting
work
chills, by the
at the
way. I'm
detention
getting
center for.
chills listening
I
to
know,
this.
I know. So
Yep. I
so
know you
I'm
know.
working with. Yeah, I'm working with. So I worked there for 3 years, and that is where I actually honed all of my barbering skills because those kids needed haircuts.
Right.
They mama come see them. They all over Florida.
Yeah.
Some mothers come as far as Homestead, Florida. Some as close as Pensacola, Crestview, even the city that I'm in.
Yeah.
So they house those guys, and I like to give a shout out to Crestview Youth Academy for giving me the opportunity to do
It's awesome.
it. They gave me a chance. That was the first chance when I got here. So I'm cutting by myself upwards of like 35, 40 kids.
Wow.
I'm doing it by myself, and
Yeah.
I'm also cutting the my coworkers' hair. I'm cutting their kids' hair. So all of my reps, I'm going in. I'm
Right.
trying new pieces of equipment. I'm trying new clippers. Fixing all of my own clippers. I'm cutting my hair to work on overnight, like when I'm doing all the checks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? To make sure
Sure.
the kids are okay, to save the checks and everything. So I had that opportunity. So I said I wanted to be able to network in a sense of being able to get those kids to where they don't have to worry about when they go back to their normal habitat. Because a lot of the kids be like, hey man, I'm about to go back into the same environment I just left years ago. If I don't get out of the situation, I'm gonna end up doing the same stuff that got me locked up anyway.
Right.
So right before right before I transitioned into going to school, I tried to run a group of young men. I wanted a diverse group of young men to teach them how to cut hair because they come to me and said, Mr. Smith, teach me how to cut.
Wow.
So I take it up the chain and I be like, okay, ain't nothing to me. I
Yeah.
like to do it anyway.
Is that
So
how
I
we
started
is that how it
establishing
started? Just by a kid asking you how to teach him how to
for
cut his
that.
hair?
Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, well, no, it's been a thing that I wanted to anyway, but I just
Sure.
didn't know. I didn't have enough of the information to be able to give them. I only could give them what I knew. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Sure.
Because
Yep.
I wasn't in school at the time. I'm a YouTube barber through and through. I learned all of my stuff off of YouTube.
Nothing wrong
So
with that, man.
with them asking me to be able to show them what I love to do,
Yeah.
plus it kept all the ruckus down. If
Sure.
you get a kid that's been angry all week and he get a haircut and he don't want to punch that other kid in the mouth over some hot Cheetos, then I kind of feel like I won as a supervisor. You know what I mean?
Right.
For the people that ever been in those types of situations to where it's quiet and all of a sudden a random fight break out with
Oh my
over
God.
a small apple juice, you know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Or some graham crackers, you know
Or
what I'm
so
saying?
or a
Like
Pop Tart.
a Pop Tart. Ain't
Oh
even
my
bust out Heck yeah. And they don't even want the Pop-Tart. It's the principle of it. So
Right.
so you're dealing with different personalities, and plus I'm not from Florida, so any of the Florida slang and of the Florida vibe. Matter of fact, I spent 14 years overseas before I got to these kids. So
Yeah.
I'm really disconnected from the American way of life anyway. So I'm like, whoa,
Right.
I got all my money is the same now. Like I don't
Right.
have to switch pockets for money. So, being able to teach those kids, and last week, matter of fact, the guy who I made, Young Savage, actual last name Savage.
Wow.
He
Yeah. Young Sap.
when I was going to school, I stopped by the local Waffle House. He was in there cooking.
Oh,
And I
okay.
sold
Wow.
a lot of bit. I had a couple jokes for him. He still called me Mr. Smith. And
Love
I
it.
and I already knew what time it was, right? So I'm talking to him, and I go up there a few more times, and I talk to him, and I say, "Hey, man, I need for you to come to school because this is what we were in the program doing.
Yeah.
Come on, man."
Right.
So he ended up getting a little bit of trouble right after that. Last week, man, he came into my shop. He came into the
Oh
school.
man. Man.
Came into the school,
Yeah.
and it was a moment for me
Sure.
because he didn't forget, because one of my students that was cutting his hair, he like, this man kept me out of so much trouble. This
Man.
man took care of me.
Yeah.
And I gave him an application, and I say, I hope you be able to come in because you're going to be one of the people. So when I go into these programs and talk to these different kids, you're going to have an insight. Some of these places you probably already been to.
Right.
So
Right.
now you can be able to come in barbering, going to barber school and be able to come in and do some of the same stuff that I did for you. I hope you can be able to do that. And one of the things that really touched me, man, he said, "You are the only person who I've met that did exactly what they said they was going to do."
Mm.
And I was like, now I'm taken back. I was like, you don't know anybody that do what they say they're gonna do? They're just the jokes that are in me. Who you been hanging around? But I know.
Right.
So just for him to say I'm inspired, and he said, "Man, like you never gave up on me," and I was like, "Oh, that's a thing too.
Yeah.
Giving up on people is a thing now." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
So while being amongst the school, I also kept to piggyback on that one. I want to do a first sergeant term with the commander. Say I want to piggyback on that, which not only am I trying to go out and help the kids be able to take a class while they're inside of the detention center, but I also want to be able to give them the ability to, no matter where they are in Florida, if there's a school around them available, the things that I teach them, I hope it can be able to, I want to be able to get it transferred over
Sure.
so they can be able to get their recidivism rate down because they actually have somewhere to go.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because those programs, like those programs have transitional case managers. Those transitional case managers help those kids get applications. They help them get jobs before
Yep.
they actually get out. They help them go to
Right.
school. A couple kids out of the program went to college. They
Yep.
graduated high school. Some of the kids that I miss a guy by Mr. Camaro. He's from Orlando. And when I met him, he was an angry individual. He
Mm.
tried to physically fist fight me for not turning off the lights. So I never took it against him. You know what I mean? Never put that against him. So
Sure.
I said, "Hey, are you gonna go to school?" Because he wasn't really going to school. Grades weren't as, you know what I mean, weren't like they were supposed to.
Right.
But I stayed on him.
Yeah.
But I stayed on him in a way that we can relate. I listened to his music. You know what I mean? He liked to dance. I liked to do all of that stuff. He was an entertaining individual, but he wasn't the guy that I always, if he didn't know what it was, he'd be like, "I don't know what that means. Tell
Mm.
me." So to see him go from what they used to call him and how his personality was to when he left, man, he graduated high school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He graduated school,
Yeah.
had his mom on the phone. I ended up taking him like halfway. That's right when the coronavirus started kicking off, but we weren't able to transport the kids. So Crestview Youth Academy, what we did, Me and a guy by the name of Kamoy McIntyre. He was another guy that we would grind out every day. And shout out to him too, because I was his barber too. We used to take those kids from Crestview, Florida, and drive them 4 to 5, maybe 6 hours to Daytona, so their parents can come halfway to come pick them up,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they can be able to leave and not be in that facility extra time because nobody knew what was going to do. The fallout was from the coronavirus. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Sure.
I had a chance to meet his mother and let his mother know, like, like we have been taken care of. So, there's a lot of kids that I knew that we can connect with on this particular level.
Sure.
So my goal is to be able to have no matter what facility inside of Florida. And I'm just starting with Florida,
Yeah.
my little area. I can only control in my little area, but it's so many programs out there for young men and young women,
Right. Right.
that they can be able to. They like to do that. They do hair. They cut hair. That's one of the things that they're interested in. They got a family member that's making a lot of money and they just don't know how to get it. I want to
Sure.
be able to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And not only be able to bridge that gap, but to be able to network in such a way that if they have aged out of foster care, if they have aged out of the program, if they have aged out to where, they need some help, like a lot of the help that they're going to get is not sustainable. I
Right.
have people that own nonprofit organizations, are part of nonprofit organizations that help kids specifically in that particular area, in
Sure.
that field, and they're willing to help. They want to come out and talk to the kids. What help do you need? Because I want to be able to facilitate. And one of the individuals by the name of Stacy Smith, stay in Panama City. I'm his barber, and we were having a conversation, and he handed me the card. He let me know, and I said, I know at least 50 boys, at least 50 kids that
Right.
that require your services.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not asking CYA for it. I'm gonna tell them what's going on because anything can help. Those particular type of programs need vocational type jobs. They
Absolutely.
need the electricians. They need to. So, that's what the programs are actually guided towards. Of, hey, learn a trade before you get out.
Right.
So if you're telling me that, and I'm in that particular, I'm trying to facilitate that. I'm trying to have something where the kids aren't behind an Xbox and a PS4 or PS5
All day,
all
every
day,
day,
all day, not
playing
learning anything,
playing
cursing the teachers
spades.
out.
Yeah.
You're not playing spades, fighting
Yep.
over crackers, doing
On
all of that
on their tablets or laptops.
on the
Yeah.
test. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
being able to, what's a really good blessing is my neighbor below me. It's another facility that's in the Funiac Springs, Walton County facility. He's my neighbor, and I was coming home one day from dropping my son off at school, and I seen a moving truck in front of the apartments. And I hesitated for 1 second. I said, "Nah, I'm not gonna bother." But I said, "Nah, the hell with it." I grabbed the car. I went out and I talked to the gentleman out there, and he was like, "Well, it's not me moving in. It's my son."
Hmm.
I'm meeting him going up the steps.
Yeah.
And he was like, I said, "Hey, I just handed the gentleman my card. I'm a barber, I'm in the area. And I just wanted to see, hey, if you don't have anybody cutting your hair." I didn't know where he worked. I didn't know who he was. He said, "You know what, man, I've been praying for you.
Yeah.
I've been praying for you because I
Wow.
have kids that's in this situation where they done graduated. Now
Yeah.
they're just sitting there buying the time." He said,
Wow.
"I want you to be able to come in and talk barbershop talk, inspire the kids, be able to show them what you got." And I was like,
Wow.
as a like, I'm going upstairs to get ready to go to Crestview Youth Academy to do exactly what I was saying I was going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
For
my first introduction as an instructor, and I had my students. So my students, since they had a crazy backgrounds to all of them, they all got a little something in their background, but they want to help. And I feel like the things that people that work in that particular career field, they want to help, they just don't know how,
sure.
because you're hindered by state regulations, or you can't talk to them at a certain amount of time, and
Right.
you have to let them be able, but you send them in back into the same environment.
Right.
So a lot of those kids that have left the program, they call me to this day. If they get in trouble and I say, "Hey man, I ain't heard from you in a while," I call to check on them. I send them a message. "Hey man, what's up with you? Man, I'm so sorry, man. I got into trouble again. What you
Mm.
apologizing to me for? Just don't get in trouble."
Right, right,
You
right.
know what I mean? And those are the same kids that I knew that the haircut brought their day up. I knew I was going to have a smooth day on a Saturday and Sunday because they want to get their haircut.
Right.
So by that, I know I made my job slightly easier and I'm honing my skills at the same time.
Absolutely.
So being able to have my students come to the same place to where I learned to hone my skills and being able to give them that outlet to where they can be able to help a little kid that may seem like it was them when they was little. Because I know you feel like when you in the facility and you connect with a kid, you like, I used to do that same thing.
I say the same. I say it
Man,
every day.
let me talk to you. Yeah, like come here, man. Let me talk to you. You're a little reckless today,
Right,
but they
right.
connect. But they connect with you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean. And so for about 3 years, I was realizing all that time that I put into it. I was raising other people's kids, and I wasn't mind for that because I got paid to do it. But at the
Sure.
same time, now I see where it comes back because they're trying to contact me. They're trying to let me know how they're doing.
Right.
I called one individual. I had him on my mind so bad, and I called him. His mom answered the call, and I said, "Ma'am, I had him on my mind. Just wanted to call him. I'm sorry for interrupting." But she said, "I'm sorry to let you know, but he just got locked back up.
Mm,
Like he just like the wow, the heavy thought that I had for him, he was getting processed at that time. So something was off in the force.
yeah.
And something just told me to go ahead and call him. So when he got out, he called me and said, "Man, I'm so sorry." I said, now I'm looking confused. Like, "What'd you do? You
Mm-hmm.
scamming me?" Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Right, right,
But
right.
he was just like, "Man, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm trying to do better. I'm doing this, man. I'm doing great, man." And I'm like, okay. And I haven't heard, if I see them posting on Facebook and any social media, I know they're good. When
Right.
they stop posting, I need to call.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's how far my willingness to make sure that kids that really didn't have anything to do with me parentally,
Yeah.
I got that connection with because as you know, inside of those programs, you have to be everything for those kids. They ain't got
Pretty
their
much.
mama, you need to be the mama. You gotta be the daddy, you gotta be the daddy. Drunk uncle, you gotta be the drunk uncle. Like
Bro, older
whoever
brother. Yeah.
that you
No.
can relate to them, yeah, whoever they can relate to that they listen to, that you remind them of, you
Right.
have to utilize that to your advantage to be able to show them that, hey, I'm different. Like I'm working around with we're dealing with kids that did grown up charges.
Right.
They just can't go to prison. They did grown up charges.
Right.
So I've never had to deal with that growing up. I didn't have a bad life. I can't tell nobody that I had a rough life. Only bad thing I had is when I caused it. It was
Yeah.
all my fault. But having the support system and stuff like that, having like actual unconditional love and like, hey bro, like I don't need anything from you because
I
I'm
was gonna
doing
say
this.
that. I was gonna say it's not even that you were in the system. It's not even that. It's because you have the heart for them. And
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you're talking about the reach, the outreach, right? So, we're getting
Mhm.
now we're talking about the corrections, right? And so for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, I'm in corrections and I'm a youth specialist, so I actually work with the kids, the juveniles, the inmates, hands on. So um, everything that Marcus is saying is absolutely spot on, as far as what these kids need and what's going on with these kids, and I appreciate what you're doing, brother, because what you're doing for these kids is you're providing structure, and the military background that you have, that's like the
Hmm.
military. For those of you that don't had never been in the military is about structure, right? So and I have a background in the military, and structure is everything within corrections, and that's what these young men need. These young men need structure. They need someone to hold them accountable, and they need someone to there's a
Hmm.
fine balance when it comes to working with these kids.
Yeah.
And what I mean by fine
Yeah.
balance is, you got to be firm, right? You got to hold them accountable. But at the same time, like Marcus is saying, you have to be that big brother. You have to be the dad, sometimes the mom, the drunk
Yeah,
uncle. I like
man.
that one. I like that one.
Ought to be that
Uh,
one.
and you gotta be you gotta be able to build rapport with these kids. That's what another thing too is building the relationships. And I love
Yeah.
that they call you and hey, Mr. Smith, man, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like I love that because
Yeah.
that's the legacy that we were talking about earlier, right? Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I there's and I commend you, man. Like there's not a lot of people that are willing to go. And I know this firsthand because a lot of the staff that I work with, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away because, most of them are there just to collect a paycheck. But, you
Yeah.
very, very rarely do you ever come across somebody that actually want to work with these kids, that actually actually want to get in the trenches with them and
Hmm.
work with them. Because like I said, we're in corrections. We're not in, they're in prison. So they're serving their punishment already. I'm not there to punish them anymore. I tell them every time, I remind them every day, like, hey man, listen, I'm here for you. I don't want to, I don't want to make your time harder than it has to be, but if I have to, I will. I'm going to hold you accountable. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you can talk to me about whatever. I'm willing to help you with what within means, right? With what I can help you with. And
Yeah.
I think this to myself every day is, when before I go in there, I pray this, I say, listen, like I just want to emulate the man that they ought to become, right? And so,
It's all about that example.
it's it's
It's
it's
all
it's
about
the
it's all about the examples, man.
leading by example. Exactly. It's the little things on, saying yes sir, no sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have
Yeah.
my staff, my partner, it's a woman, and believe it
Yeah.
believe it or not, a lot of the youth specialists or corrections officers are women. Most of them are women. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
And
I've
they're, and
I've
they're
met some
crazy.
yeah, I met some women that can hold down a unit, man. I'm talking about these kids like,
I'm talking about. Oof,
oh,
yeah.
like I ain't messing with her. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Like
it's a
even
different.
you as a staff, like,
Yeah,
man,
I
ain't
ain't
messing
gonna.
with her like
No,
that.
for
I'm trying.
real though,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a different dynamic,
For
when
real.
you throw in a male, right? Because, like you said earlier, most of these, if not all of them, I'm willing to say 100% of them don't know what it's like to have a male in their life, an older male.
Hmm.
So it could be you got for those of you that don't know, they come from broken homes, right? And like these youth that I deal with on a daily basis have committed some of the worst crimes in the
All the
state of
stuff
Ohio.
that you see, yeah, like these are all the kids
These are hardened
that
criminals.
yeah, but these are the kids that when you pop up on any social media and you seeing them throwing hands inside of a grocery store
Mm-hmm.
or
Right.
you seen them, it's interesting, right? So I never judge the kid. I never judge the kid for what they had going on.
Absolutely. Right.
Unless they did something really heinous, and I had to be like, yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of the kids who I come in contact with, the number one question I asked them, and everybody has answered the same, was I asked them, why'd you do
Mm,
it? What led you from leaving your house that day to committing your act? I said,
sure.
how many people have ever asked you that? 100% of them said nobody.
Mm,
Because here's the understanding: to be able, so a lot of people live in their own, right? A lot of people live in their own little universe. So if it doesn't affect them, they don't care
they don't care. Yeah.
until they're the ones that get to the ones when they get robbed,
Until they the
to by
victim.
them same kids that to they the victim,
Right.
and they trying to figure out then of what's going on. But a
Right.
lot of the times, a lot of people don't know how they want to help. They just don't know how to. Going back to that,
Sure.
but with these kids, a lot of them at 11, 12, 13-year old, they have to be the man in the house because the man in the house is locked up due to whatever system that we already got set in place in America.
Sure.
So when you hear a lot of these things about they got caught into the system or they're just gonna be in this revolving door, but they keep saying that, but they keep opening more detention centers and not anywhere so that we can rehabilitate these kids.
No.
We're not doing. I gotta have the right resources. So if you're not gonna give
Mhm.
it to me, I have to make it.
Right.
So and that's where the driving stuff is. So
Sometimes
on
you
top
gotta,
of that,
yeah, sometimes you just gotta, you just have to
you gotta
break,
do it.
you have to break
Yeah, you gotta
whatever,
you got the cycle.
whatever, yeah, whatever, things they've already set in place for them. Sometimes you just have
Yeah.
to break it
It-
because it's
because
obviously
because
not
they
working.
trying to do a cookie cutter. Yeah, because they're trying to do a cookie cutter.
Right.
Like this is going to happen, and then a lot of the programs that we work for are privatized anyway.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So us having these conversations with all the kids because you got a diverse group of kids, all the way from black kids, the Asian kids, the Hispanic kids, the
Sure. White
mixed
kids.
kids, whatever the case
Yep.
may be. What you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be,
Yep.
when you go in and you gotta let them know, hey, bro, like, let me let you know something. While you thinking it's cool to be in here, you're missing out on what's out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna turn off the Vivo for me. I don't want you to watching all these rap videos for me. And I want you, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
pay attention in your groups.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because right on my last time I was a supervisor. So everybody, once again, anybody whoever's on my crew, anywhere, anybody that ever worked with me, I appreciate you because you guys helped me get to the point to where I can articulate myself in a way to get these kids to understand that I'm not here to hurt you.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like
Yep.
a lot of these kids, they get looked down upon for what they did, and they feel like they're that.
Right.
When you're talking about full adults that forgot how it was to be a child.
Mm,
These kids are doing grown up stuff because they have to go through grown up situations.
yeah.
Grandma can't work,
They have no
but the lights are on.
choice. Yeah. They have no choice.
Have no- like even if the choice that what they have, the what we would call stable money, they can't be able to get that because either they're not old enough or they're not in school.
Right.
I can't go to school because grandma need to eat. I can't do this because my dad's sick. Who's gonna get the medicine? I'm the man in the house.
Right.
I got three sisters that I'm trying to protect. On top
Right.
of my mom that could potentially have a addiction or issue,
You know,
just not there.
I would say, there's actually a range. There's a range of kids. Like I would say that the kids that you're describing right now, they're on the good end. They're on the good side of the that
Yeah,
range. Then you have the kids that actually choose
they're
gang
worse.
life. Yeah, they choose gang life. But
Yeah, they choose that.
most
They're
of the
like, this
time,
is hey, look, it's it.
yeah, most of the time though, it's not their fault, right? Because they're born into it. And the only family that they have is their homeboys. The only work that they
Yep,
know, the only work that they know how to put in is robbing a liquor store, robbing somebody's home,
and
right?
hustling.
And that's and
Yeah,
selling drugs. That's the only work they know how to put in. So they're brought up in this environment, and they're already set up for failure. But and that's what I was saying is, like you said, breaking the cycle, and it takes individuals such
yep,
as yourself, and I would, myself, I know that's why I got into corrections because, obviously the system is broken, but then, they have all these policies in place. They have all these rules set in place. It almost seems as if, and then, like the more I get deeper into it, the more my hands are tied
they're
behind my back.
preventing you from caring. Yeah, they're preventing
My
you
hands
from
are tied
caring.
behind my
Like,
back,
hey,
you know?
yeah,
So, bruh, when you were talking about everything, your outreach program, the entire time I had goosebumps. I was talking to my partner that I was working with the other night, and we were talking about um, uh, a nonprofit. So, the only way to reach them other than actually being in the facility is having my own program outside of the facility. Right. And so, man, when you were talking, I was like, holy shit. Like I was just talking about that, and so and it's not nothing new for me. I've always had mentorship programs, I've always
Hmm.
like you, I was involved with the community and Boys and Girls Club, and of course through the church, and having my own mentorship program there. Of course, I was always involved with adolescent youth, so males, right? I was
Yeah.
always just strong. I was always gravitated towards them, whether it was through
Hmm.
gym or whatever the case may be. Um, that was always my ministry, right? So like, it's funny that we're having this conversation. That you said nonprofit, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. I didn't, we talked briefly before I actually hit record on this podcast. I had no idea what we were going to talk about, but I know why we're having this conversation now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, and it, I know for me, I'm going through this experience as a youth specialist, right? With, as in corrections for a reason. And I know, like I know that's honing my skills to
Hmm.
whatever that looks like outside of the facility. So like, you know, it's just amazing at what the people that actually wanna be in this line of work, like the heart that they have to have, because I know
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean, and it's tough. It's a tough
Yeah.
thing. Most people don't think about, most people forget about these kids. They write off these kids,
Yeah.
or even
They're
adults,
gone. Yeah.
their own families, right? Their own
Yeah.
families, their own friends, write them off. Like, it's heartbreaking because I have to listen to kids say, "Oh man, my mom, she um you know uh, of course, like you, I talk to these kids, like, I try to dig in a little bit and see, hey man, what you gonna do when you get out, right? What are you gonna do in the outs, right? And like, it's sad to hear
Uh,
sometimes they'll say, oh, I have no family, and even
yeah, man.
sometimes they'll say, oh, Mr. Kaku, like, you're like the only person that's ever talked to me this way, you know what I mean, like, and
That hit you, don't it? It hit you. It hit you.
really deep, really deep. And
It hit you.
like, it didn't take me long to change my perspective, because when I first became a corrections officer, I only thought about going to war every day with these kids, right? Because
Yeah, for real.
you hear the you know the horror stories and stuff that these inmates do to
Yeah.
corrections officers, and it's real. I see it all the time. I see it every day. It happens.
Oh yeah, man.
I've experienced it pretty much every day. And
Quick to get stole off on.
oh, bro, you have
On
to
some
have
hot topics. Bam.
eyes on the back of your head, on the side of your head, on the top of your head. But
And
you
so,
got to
you
have
know,
spidey
it's
senses.
crazy that I was more on the swivel. I was more on the swivel inside of those facilities than I was in actual war.
No, for sure, for
For
sure,
real, like the
for real.
water, the sea ram, the sea ram got you. It
Yeah,
depends on where
yeah,
you are. They got a little mortar thing to help you out. You know what I mean?
yep,
You got some blimp. You got
yep.
things out there that, you know what I mean? Even though they
Man,
ain't real, but
I
still.
think about that sound all the time, bro.
Yeah. Cause
It's
we
a
were right
distinct,
by. Remember
it's
we
a
was
distinct sound, man. Yeah. And with my, I'm a MMA fighter. I'm a mixed martial artist. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit does not matter on the inside. It really does not.
It doesn't.
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
because of course there's policy against that. You can't just go
Yep.
ahead and
You just
put a
can't
kid in a
you
rear
can't
naked
arm
choke.
bar.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
armbar.
Well, you can. You're
You
gonna
can't.
get fired. You're going to
Right,
jail,
right,
but you
right. You
can't.
can. Yeah, you're right.
Can.
You can't just Superman. You can't just Superman punch somebody or double, drop kick someone. But you, my perspective has changed so much. It went from,
Yeah.
okay, like, now I'm like these kids' fathers.
Hazmat.
You know what I mean? Because like,
It softens you up, it opens up your field because once again, you don't know what you don't know, and
right,
these kids are actually asking for help.
right,
So what I used to do is when I used to start my shift, I used to come in early. Not only did I used to come in early, sometimes when I know it was going to be somewhat of a bad day the night before, I bring in my clippers. So whoever that I needed to actually talk to, come here, let me cut your hair. I need to talk to you.
yeah,
So if we had the right amount of people in ratio or whatever that I can pull a few of the knuckleheads in, at least eight,
Yeah.
6 to 8 up, bring your ace in here, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I need to figure out what your malfunction is. Not only
Yeah.
do I need to figure out what your malfunction is, I go talk to the therapist.
Mm.
What does he got going on today? Well, we had this and he had blah 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 blah. Well, I'm glad I'm coming to ask. So I was asking so much to the point of where when I show up, the therapist already had, hey man, look, such and such on one today. All right. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So it'll be a heads up. And I'm like,
Sure.
Marcus, you care a lot. Why do you care so much? I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell you like this. From when I clock in to when I clock out, I'm leaving that door. Right. I'm
Right.
going home
Right.
because I got my own kids to raise.
Yeah.
So if you set me up in a position to where I'm gonna have to put my life, my career, and or my freedom on the line, y'all might want because I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna do my time and I'm gonna come get you because you're the catalyst of holding up my life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
working 16 hours. I'm the
Mm.
supervisor at this point. I ain't getting no extra money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here because I want to be. And that's what I had to tell
Sure.
some of the people. And I like to give a shout out to all of the people who doubted me,
Hmm.
right? And this ain't nothing negative. This ain't nothing negative. I appreciate you. But I also want to apologize. If I did anything to anybody in my life that they was really uncomfortable with, said some crazy joke, did something blasphemous. You know what I mean? Like if I did anything, I apologize.
Yeah.
Some of those I meant to do because I didn't like you like that. And the
I
other
was gonna
stuff,
say, bro, that would be Marcus.
you know what I mean? But you gotta understand. So I'm gonna get right back into what I was saying. But imagine this person in a fight and they're getting their ass whooped.
Mm.
Somewhere in that point where they're getting their ass whooped, you try to figure out what the person got their ass whooped did. Like,
Mm.
what did you do to make this person either get hyper into their character or out of their character to physically put hands on it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody really asked that question. Like, damn, what did a little bit like, damn, what did he do to get this man to act like that? So,
Right.
so all of those people who doubted me, people that's trying to who I would say is trying to block the money, trying to be on the wrong side of history. I
Mm.
forgive you.
Mm.
You don't know no better.
Sure.
Some of y'all peaked already. Some of y'all peaked into the area that at this point in your life, you're not going to be anything more than what you are. You're that old dog, and it's a lot of new tricks.
You're
You know what I
right,
mean? It's a lot
man.
of things. There's a
Sure.
lot of things out here. So I want to say I'm sorry, and I want to say I appreciate you because the only thing you did for me is not even motivate. I know if I put my mind to something that's going to happen, I don't need your validation.
Sure.
But if I'm coming to you and asking you something, and I do the hard part. I do the hard part. I will come up with the idea and the scheme. I'll make sure it works. I make sure whatever I got going on. So when I bring it to you, and isn't that what they taught us in the Air Force?
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring me no bullshit. Don't bring me no half-ass shit. Cause
Right.
whenever it's time for us to execute, I'm gonna need all your ducks in the row. So here's
Right.
what I'm doing to civilians, like people that's been just as long as I was in the military, they were in corrections.
Mm.
But they don't, and I had to tell them, hey, bro, like the military paid a lot of money for me to hone these skills. So if we're here, utilize your military personnel. At one point, bro, I counted it. At one point in that facility that I worked in, it was over 400 years of military service.
Wow. Wow.
I paused for effect for a
Wow.
reason. Over 400 years on the staff of military experience,
Wow.
and they did not utilize any of it.
Mm-mm.
Even when, hey, bro, I brought it up in front of everybody. Hey, man, like, you got a lot of people that like structure, and every time we get together, we're talking about structure. Who else is going to get you than a guy that's been in the military service 30 years?
You know what though? I think, and I'm not trying to defend anybody or whatever, but I I think a lot of them get scared, to be honest. A lot of the
You know what? But it's so. But But the thing about it, it's okay to be scared in the situation, but you're not realizing that where we come from, we have, like we're talking about legacy, right?
Mm,
I'm working with children that need help.
mm,
I need the resources to make sure those kids don't be into the system.
sure.
And if I'm not having the resources and or the materials or whatever that I guidance that I need, if I do something wrong, I go to prison. You don't.
Yep.
I get the abuse charge to a kid that I can't be around my own kids.
Yep.
You're putting me in a position to where you're comfortable in your job. This right here is the stepping stone for me to somewhere else. You're messing with my footing.
Mm,
You're messing with my stability.
sure.
And a lot of people, hey, if I come ask for something, I need it because I don't ask you for nothing. If I can't, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
if it's what you're supposed to give me, I want it. If it's not in the cards for me, then I'm okay. I've heard no before. I can deal with a no.
Sure. Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with these particular type of people, uh, I'm talking about primarily the haters of Marcus Smith. Uh, it's okay. I forgive you, and I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Because I'm growing in such a way that there's no sense in having a conversation. Like I'm gonna talk to you, but if we're not vibing out, or the vibrations are off, I can wait.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
you're not. Maybe we're not in the same place, and I get that, and I
yeah.
understand, and I accept that. But my train is moving forward.
Hmm.
And what I told a lot of people, I said, hey, you put yourself on the train where you need to be. I'm going forward. On my board of life, I can go all around the board, but I'm moving forward. You get
Right.
on whatever cart. And I accept the responsibility in your life too. If I'm not gonna help with what you're doing, I'd rather stay out of the way.
Sure.
Another thing that my dad said is lead, follow, or get out of the way. Those are the options.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm living, so everything that I'm doing, those type of things are ringing in my head, bro. Like I can't, I don't want to involve myself into your space or get invited to your space where I'm gonna be toxic, where I'm gonna be a
Sure.
hindrance.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
The vibe is different because that's your baby.
Right.
So when it comes to this haircut and stuff, and me helping these kids, and me trying to build my legacy, and it goes as far as I'm done talking about the haters, but it goes as far as my own child, my daughter. My daughter seen me get my first pair of clippers. My
Okay. Yeah.
daughter
How old
seen
is how old is
me
she now?
19, man. She
Wow.
all in college. Shout out, shout
Wow.
out to shout out to my big one.
I know it hasn't been
She's in
that
her second
long.
year of
How
college
how
right
old's
now.
how old's your youngest?
Marcus, he just turned 8. Marcus just turned 8.
Wow.
Yeah, man. When
It's
the
been
size
that
72
long.
and men.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
bro. And I remember y'all used to see her when she was small, pigtails, all
Yes.
that, glasses and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
So she's now going to school to be a psychologist.
Wow.
And the reason why she's going into the field of psychology is because of those 3 years that she really seen me and get myself involved with those kids in the program.
Wow.
To the point that where my own child sat me down
That's amazing.
and she said, Dad, you inspire me to do this because I see how much you care and you also bring that care home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't get into the facts with my kids or whatever, but when they ask about what happened in my day, I tell them. And a lot of the time, we're talking about all these kids being hard. No, some of these kids are absolutely comedians.
Yeah.
They're funny.
He had it. Yeah.
They're loving kids.
Yep.
They just don't know how to use their words. So instead of when I run out of words, it's hands.
Right.
And these are what these kids are actually brought into. But my daughter was like, Dad, like, I remember she told me when I got my barber license how proud of me she was. And she said, Dad, I seen you go from this to this.
Mm,
And you still gotta wait. And she said, I still see your wheels turn. She
Mm,
said, I can see when you calculate, because I take them to go with haircuts for me,
yeah,
so they can see what we got going on. My son come to the school with me, he sweep up the floor and do all of that stuff, get him a mannequin and go to work.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm living the best part of my life right now as I'm building, and I'm going into uncharted territory because some of the things that I'm doing isn't done yet.
Right.
Like it hasn't been done. Like the right pieces haven't been put in place yet. And that's what I'm fiercely working on. So my networking game has to be on 1,000. So if
Sure.
anybody watching this, if you guys have anything in any area on how to start anything to help these kids, either when they get out or to be able to help them with financial literacy,
Mm, that's a big
literacy,
one. That's a big one.
being able, you know what I'm saying, being able to use their words more in their hands because everybody ain't sizing. You know
Right.
what I mean? Everybody ain't trying you.
How
Everybody
to
don't
how to tie a tie
tie. You know what I mean?
and
In that program
get
we
ready
got
for an
called
interview.
Men of Distinction. Yeah, we they in those programs they did them like that because I was a part of it. I was used to get their haircuts, showed them how to tie a tie for my
Yeah, I
escort
love it.
experience.
I love it.
My public speaking. Hey man, this is how you guys are gonna speak to the people, how you gonna do it. All of the stuff that the Air Force feel like they wasted money on me on. I paid
Ah,
attention. So
yeah.
big up to the Air Force for creating
Shouts.
for creating a real one. But
USAF.
you know what I'm saying? But so everybody in my school, the staff and the faculty are ex-military.
Mm,
Mr. Adrian Wallace, he's ex-Marine.
mm,
John Bartholomew II, he's the Army,
mm,
Airborne Ranger, all of that. Purple Heart Bart is what they call
mm.
it. You know what I mean? Miss
Purple Heart
June,
Bart. I like it.
yeah. He's a character. You
Hey,
gotta get a chance to meet.
I want to piggyback on what Marcus said. For real though, if any of y'all have any advice or tips or anything, or any knowledge on how to start or where to begin as far as
Just want to help.
nonprofit goes, when it comes to community outreach, especially with the kids, please message below, or feel free to hit me up on a DM, or Marcus if you don't mind, on a
Please,
direct
if you're in
message.
the Panhandle area, the
Yeah,
Florida area, and it just don't extend anything towards barbering or helping. Like, if you need some help,
sure.
if you have a particular skill that you
Yeah.
think that not enough people know, like even so, I'm doing this in the facility, but I'm also doing this at the school.
Hmm.
So a lot of my clients have a particular set of skills.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So my student can either be able to benefit and or help
Right.
these people get out of their rut that they're in or that idea space. So you know what, man, I've been looking for this. And they're like, man, I got 20 of those in my garage. You want them? You know what I mean? They don't
Hmm.
know that that little gesture can catapult $1 million idea.
Right. Right.
And half of the time, you give it. I don't want nothing from that, bro. I helped you out. Like this is what you needed. I don't need anything in return.
Yeah.
So saying that, I don't need anything in return because my primary goal, the primary goal is I'm concentrated on Florida. But
Sure.
eventually, every program, every detention center that don't have this particular type of program, I want to be able to do it and have it successful for. I'm not local in Florida. We can do this, if not worldwide, nation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
to be
There
able
isn't
to
only
expand,
juveniles in Florida.
that's it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying, so I want to be able also, if you're a school owner of any type of vocational, any type of, especially the barber school for what I'm doing, and you're in the different areas. If you drive by in your neighborhood and you can look up on Google what the nearest detention center, men, female, whatever, I want to be able to work with the school and the instructors to be able to grant these individuals the opportunity. If barbering is their passion and they want to do something with hair, extend out to be able to do it and be able to help them, because I'm trying on my end to fill in some of the gaps. The nonprofit of helping the kid with everything, because Project Connect is a joke. And I'm gonna
Mm,
say it on here. It's a joke for those kids, because I know a lot of those kids that utilize that service and they call back like, these people were full of shit, bro.
yeah.
I didn't
I
have a job. I didn't have the house they said I was gonna have. I don't,
I'm not surprised.
and I want to be able to have something really. So I want to be able to have something really sustainable, because I let these kids know, hey, bro, while you're in here, you are a member of the state, and you're
Right.
also a member of this private organization.
Right.
Once your bed time is up, either they're gonna send you back out in the street, and fingers crossed that you don't kill nobody this time, or they're gonna actually try to. Hopefully, they would try to extend that hand to give them the right people. And from
Right.
my 3 years experience in working in there, the system has failed all the way through. There's a reason why these kids are acting the way that they're acting. There's a reason
So
why these kids don't want to talk to therapists that don't look like
right.
them, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like how
No,
Miss
I
how's Miss Sandra gonna tell me about living in the hood and her ass stay in a trailer, or
yeah,
her ass
sure.
stay in the gated community? You a psychiatrist. You ain't hurting for money.
Well,
You know what I mean?
she live on the north side of town. So
North side of town. She
how
don't
the
even
heck
go that way. You
right
know what I'm saying?
how she know about my hood, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, you know what I mean?
makes
Try
total
to tell me
sense.
about how my problem.
Right.
So not only with that though, I'm asking, because I don't really ask. I like to try to. I don't want to say I like to get it out the mud, because I didn't have to. I had supporting family. I like to get a shout out to my wife. She was the first one that set up my barber in Masawa, 7B Tower
Miss
220,
D.
overlooking the mountain range. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the funniest thing I seen out that window is a Japanese mailman in the snow riding a motorcycle, and he wiped out. But he got every piece of envelope that was in the snow, and he
Oh
delivered it.
my god.
But he fell hard. He had to go pick his helmet up, all the other stuff. And
That
it was currently snowing. So big up to that mailman for not missing the delivery, but he fell hard.
he,
He fell hard.
he got it. He got
But
everybody. He got
that
everybody's
man
mail to him
fell
though.
hard. Yeah. He was in there, but I'm talking about like a full wipeout. Like they were doing some Fast and the Furious stuff, but he wasn't fast. He was furiously in that snow. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying. He hit hard.
oh
When
my
you lose
god.
your helmet, you know they buckle it. They buckle the helmet. He lost his helmet. He fell pretty hard, because they're all about safety. They're all about safety.
Yeah, they are.
But I definitely but I know it was a lot of names, man. There was a lot of names that I mentioned. There was a lot of names that I didn't mention. And like, if you had any impact with me at any time, the only thing changed for me is my actual direction. Well, I've never not been directed to where I wanted to go. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Everybody knew where I was headed because I told you.
yeah.
So it wasn't a guess. So now
Yeah.
I'm being able to be in a position to where I want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law too, David Fraser. I had a conversation with him. We met up around Thanksgiving. It was the first time I ever got out of Florida, and I drove to Charlotte, North Carolina, to see my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my nieces, and my nephews. And that was the first family road trip in the States, really. You know what I mean? We were just
Yeah.
driving, and he told me something so profound, man, and I never forgot. He said, why are you trying to go nationwide? How about you just do regular work? Focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
Because, at a certain level in life, or a certain level in our military career, they always tell us big picture. You gotta think big picture. Well,
Yeah.
man, you ain't gave me, you ain't, I'm not even in that room yet. Like, I don't know what the big picture. I'm still seeing my little staff, tech sergeant, little E5 or E6, little vision of view.
I can't see past.
I
I
don't
can't see
know.
past the technical order textbook you give me. I can't see past that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So trying to navigate around these things, man, and people who, if you let me cut your hair one time, appreciate it. If I'm gonna continue cutting your hair and being part of your life, because everybody who I feel like hair that I cut, we connected in a some type of way that nobody else can be able to emulate.
sure. Yeah,
Everybody got a funny story about it. Everybody got something that happened that I was around
yeah.
that you cried laughing. So at least you caught a cramp in your side. You had to leave at a certain point.
Hey, you know what I just thought about too, man, is I just think about like
Tomahawk
my
moon.
I just thought, listen, I just thought about my barber. You know what I mean? And uh, he's not here in Columbus, but he cut my hair for 2 years and while I lived in Dane. Um, but he was he my brother. He was basically my brother. Pretty
Yeah.
much the only family that I had. Well, one of the few. Um,
Mhm.
but you kind of look at him as like like you're kind of like your confidant, kind of like
Yeah.
somebody like almost kind of like your what do you call it, like your uh what was what like therapist. I mean, basically that's what they are,
Yeah.
and that's what that's the kind of role, that's the role that you take on basically, because some of the wisest things I've ever heard besides the funny stuff was from my
Yeah.
barber. Some of the most wisest things, some of the most, like, and I'll remember those things to this day. But like,
Yeah.
it's your barber, and so not there's nothing like sitting in a barber's chair, and after a long week, right, and you're just trying to relax, and then your barber asks you, man, how was your week, you know, and
How's the family?
how's the
How's
family,
everybody?
how's work, how's what I
How
mean,
are you doing? How are
right,
you specifically doing?
right,
I know what
yeah,
you're doing out here, but
yeah.
what's going on with
What
you? You know what I
inside,
mean?
yeah, what's going on with you, Marcus, what's going on with you, EJ,
We
right?
got the, and we have this time to talk about.
Yeah,
It's no longer about the money. It's no
no,
longer about you already know I'm gonna give you a fire haircut.
right.
You already know you're gonna get what you pay. I don't
Yeah,
even have to say anything about money at this point.
no.
I'm genuinely asking about you. Now, let's go ahead and do a full circle. That's the same stuff I did in the program.
Hmm.
Ain't never
I'd
changed.
imagine so. I'd imagine so, because you're probably like
Ain't
one.
never.
You're probably one of the few that these kids have to talk to about
Yeah.
stuff other than cleaning their rooms or cleaning the unit, or you know what I
See,
mean.
but here's what I did too. Here's what I concentrated to, and I want to thank the Big Air Force again and all the people who worked with me and all of the leaders that took the time to hear me say something crazy and also pull me to the side of like that's funny, but this ain't the location.
Hmm.
You can't be out here acting like this.
Right.
So which helped me change my mentality of how I need to deliver the cut.
Hmm.
Because if you did something to me, I got to get you. I got to get my lick back, as my younger brother would say. I got to get my head back.
Right.
But I learned how to maneuver around my words a little bit to say what I need to say without actually offending you. You may be offended when you get home, like, damn, you just called me a dumbass in my face. Yes, I did, because you treated me that way, but
Right.
you understood where I was coming from. It's all about perspective. And that's one of the good things I want to touch on a little bit is about perspective, man. Like, once again, you don't know what people have going on until they let you know and they show you.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The real ones.
Hmm.
Some people just have those spaces like, hey, just tell me all your business. And I'll just, sit up here and be like, damn, that's horrible. But I
Sure.
don't know what to do with that information because once we leave, I'm going home. I don't expect to see you anymore.
Right.
But what I find out during barber, and you'll see them again. You'll see them again. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? and then they may bring the family member who they was talking about.
Yeah.
Or you could have been dealing with that same situation 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
Or every time you said it's funny how you say that, and I was just thinking about that, or I was talking to somebody. That's been happening more and more in my life since I started this real deal 10 toes down on this what my brother-in-law really said to me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, you want to do all of this, but you haven't really got to this point yet. You know what I mean? And I'm working toward on trying to get the pieces and the right pieces together with a minimum amount of effort. You know what I'm saying? Like working hard is about perspective. Like it's the perspective of I can say I did some CrossFit stuff like you and I done lifted 900 pounds. You like you still can get the same muscles with 200. What you doing? You ain't gonna do nothing but break your back down. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's
You
like
can
one of
get,
those
you can still get the
conversations. Like
same, you can still get the same workout in 10 minutes as opposed to working out for
yeah,
an hour. Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
being efficient, right? Yeah.
yeah, but what I found out was some of the mentality and the perspective is I heard one of my students say, I don't want to ask anybody for nothing because I don't want anybody saying to me that they did something for me.
Hmm.
So I said I'm curious. And I said, by no way me, I mean any harm by what I say, but I just really want to hear your thought process behind that because I'm coming from a different perspective.
Right.
So I said, so what you're telling me is you're talking about trying to that phrase of getting out the mud. I don't know what rapper started all that, but they need to cut it out because everybody don't. I'm wearing white. I'm trying to get in no mud. I
Mm.
got new clothes on.
Yeah.
What I got to do that for?
Right.
So I say you're rather. So I say you're rather sit there and struggle to say that you did it on your own than to get there faster because somebody genuinely wants to help you. I said, what if that person has no idea what you got going on, but they're blessed enough to be able to offer you something to get you on the right track, and you would turn it down and say, I need to get it by myself.
Mm.
I was like, I kind of feel like the system worked, especially in different communities. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also heard somebody inside of the school, and we have these particular type of conversations all the time. Like Shaq said one time, "It's my money. It's not my kids' money. They
Mm.
need to figure out how to go out and get it." And I
Yeah.
disagree. I
Yeah.
disagree. And the only reason why I disagree is because you personally probably looked at your boys in the face and said, "Sons, the reason why I'm working so hard is because you don't have to."
Mm.
And you ingrain that into their head. I'm
Sure.
working so you don't have to. And whatever we're doing, we end up hitting mega bucks. Why would I have my son go work at a McDonald's?
Right. No, and that's part of
That
being,
shit's
that's
stupid.
part of being a man is providing,
It's
right? So
you know, but not even the providing part though. Yeah, I'm talking about the after effect, right? I'm talking about the after thing. So if you grind so hard that your kids don't have to grind like you,
mm,
wherever I am, financially, spiritually, emotionally, whatever, I have to teach my kids on that level. The reason why I'm working so hard is to keep them from doing weird stuff.
sure.
I don't want my son working in no damn fast food restaurant because I did. My dad had his own business.
Mm,
I'm having my own business.
sure.
So by the time you get up and available, we need to be talking about what type of business you're going to start, not the fact that you're working and dropping chicken at Popeye. Nothing wrong
Mm,
with that. But my legacy is going to be dad worked. My dad worked hard. I hated sweeping that damn shop. I like changing tires, rotating tires, and doing oil and stuff like that. Him and I had conversations where I got it real early. But I still don't want to go do that shit. I seen the way
right.
his knuckles looked because the wrench done flew off and then hit his knuckles on a piece of the end. Now he bleeding. I ain't even like that in the Air Force.
Right. I
So
was gonna
how about
say,
this? You know what
yeah.
I mean? So I never liked that. I never like I always wanted to find a way to do what I want to do. But I don't want to do what I want to do at the expense of others. I want us to
Sure.
be able to do all, because if everybody loves what they're doing, there's no need to have any negativity.
Mm,
So if I'm gonna be a business owner and I put my son in a situation to where now he gotta, like, you know what, all these millions, you're not gonna get but a percentage of it. So why the hell am I working?
mm,
If
sure.
I'm gonna put my son in a situation, so I'm gonna teach my son at what level that I am and try to get him higher education. So by
Mm,
the time they get their kids, they were smarter than me. Dad worked hard, but holograms out now, so we don't have to do. You know what I mean? Like
right.
being able to adapt with the times.
That's great perspective.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You gotta be able to adapt with the time, because sometimes people get complacent with themselves. They forget who they are because they're in the grind. You
Sure.
ever have that moment in your life? You like, I just need to sit down.
Yeah. No, my mom, so she actually reminded me yesterday. I called her and we talked a little bit, and my brother's getting married this fall, so we
Oh, hello.
the conversation revolved around that. But um she reminded me yesterday. She said, hey, just take care of yourself. Don't, I know you're, because that's why I say, yeah, I just been putting in a lot of hours, and she said, hey, I get that, it's great. I'm proud of you, but remember to take care of yourself. Remember, that you are no good to anybody else. If you're not taking care of yourself, and as she told me that, I was like, yes, mom. Yes, ma'am.
That is really none
That's simple.
other than yes, man. And I tell the young barbers who I'm instructing right now. I say, look, I know y'all want to get out there and grind. I know y'all want to do all that. But I'm telling you now, as a family man that didn't do it,
Mm,
wife had to beg me to take days off
mm,
because my mind is on the grind.
right.
My mind is on the point of where if you're in a situation, not saying that everybody has the same one, but just think about it. Everybody got their own little weight that they got.
Sure.
Either it's living paycheck to paycheck, the lights about to get turned off,
Mm,
you working just to stay afloat.
yeah.
Like those particular type of people,
Yeah.
they can never see the forest because they right in front of a tree.
Right. Right. Right.
You see what I'm
And
saying?
and at the same time too, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. Is you can't see past the bank account. Like, you're more worried about how much you got
Yeah,
in the bank account. Like, you doing good, you're good. Like, I can say now that,
yeah,
like, I man, like, I'm good. I'm blessed, right? But
yeah,
when it becomes an idol, right? When it becomes something that's like, what, man, money over everything, and I,
yeah,
I love the grind. Like, I appreciate it. I think it comes more from a place of more of like gratitude, right? Because I've done, like,
yeah.
the last couple of years has been nothing but hard work and grind, and I was in the food industry for a little while, and so, like, now I can make double, even triple the money that I was making, but then not grinding my face off. You know what I mean? So, like,
You know what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
now
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
say now I can say now I can say that now I can say, you know what, yeah, like, now, yes, like, I'm still gonna work hard. I'm still gonna, put in time, but
Just gonna do it different.
different, and like, whatever the time off looks like for you, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta
Yeah,
get away from it for even a day. Sometimes you gotta
exactly. Yes, man.
do things that you love, like, you know what I mean, like, get it, whatever that looks like, going for a hike or
Yeah,
going to the gun range or whatever,
whatever.
right? And
Just
so,
just be
spending time with
prepared.
your family, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah,
and like, for me, like, right now, like, it's just me. I have no pets, and like, but I take that day for, whether it is my sons, or or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
just to get out of town or whatever for a little while. Like, you have to take that
yeah,
time.
yeah. And we're doing. Hey, man, we're doing a lot. And for your grind, you seen it's paying off.
Mm,
And you're doing what you love. And
sure.
you always been an eccentric character, not in a weird way, but you always carried yourself with a different aura than a
Mm.
lot of other people. Now you're gonna be turned off, but you know what I mean. But
So I've been
unless
told.
people actually, yeah, unless people actually get to know you, because I remember Scrappy Cock.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
what you say to me, roundhouse to the face, Kaku. I remember,
yeah. I'm gonna
but you
flip this
smiling just like
bitch,
you doing
Kaku.
now. Yeah, well, you what? You know what I mean? So,
I listen.
um,
I talk about that Kaku all the time, bro. I
hey,
talk.
that
And
Kaku was
these kids, you know what I mean? These kids, they're like, what? Mr. Kaku, you know what I mean? And so like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
really do believe that part of the reason why I'm in this position is because I can talk about the stupid things I've done and the
But talk about the way of how to like, hey, bro, I can't relate to you on robbing this old lady.
sure,
But I
right,
can
right,
relate to you on the anger factor and consequences behind your action as you're serving them
right.
now.
I can
So I'm
relate,
not judging
right. I can
you.
talk to you.
Yeah.
I can talk to you about, hey, there's a difference between reaction versus responding, right? And what you're doing right now, sir, is you're reacting,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes we need to just take a second, whether whether it's just taking a
Mm-hmm.
couple minutes to breathe, right? Or go to your room, if take a timeout, man. Like if you got to do that, beside
Yeah.
instead of trying to
Let's talk about it.
tussle with me or trying to throw hands with me, then we'll
Yeah.
do that. We'll do that. But if you want to do what you want to do right now, which is reacting, right? Because what I just told you about is responding. If you want to react,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bust that call on you, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm out.
So
I'm gonna have to do something crazy. You're gonna make
right,
because
right, right.
honestly,
I don't
bro,
want to put my
like
hands on you. I
I
don't want
used
to put
to
my hands on you, but I
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. And it's crazy because I used to tell the kids that like, hey man, oh, if I have to get up, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because my crew with Malcolm Garber, uh Tyrone, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
you know what I mean, like Mason, Eric Mason, you know what I mean, Tyrone Baker, man, like that was my squad.
Mm.
That was my get down squad, and I'd be like, hey bro, we let y'all have what y'all want, y'all eat what y'all want to eat. All I'm asking is to do what I ask.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you need to go in and disrespect a couple people, the consequence if I have to put your hands on you, I'm gonna need some days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need your time because you're
Yeah.
wasting mine.
Yeah.
Because all you had to do was go sit your punk ass down somewhere.
Right. And
So if
I tell them too. I tell them all the time, like, hey man, hey, you play stupid games, you're gonna get stupid prizes, bro. You know what I mean?
hey,
And
look,
I
man,
don't know. It
there ain't
seems to
nobody
work.
coming at
It
like,
seems to work.
and it's but it's in a calming voice though. Like, hey, bro,
Sure.
like I'm not trying to sit up here and tussle with no child, bro. Like
Yeah.
you know it's 6 o'clock. You know you're supposed to go to your room.
Right.
If you're tired of being here, stop committing crimes.
Sure.
You don't understand what it's like. You get to go home. I said, who woke you up this morning? You. Who's telling you to go to bed? You.
That's
Shut up and go to bed. I'm here
right.
with you.
I gotta
I'm
tell
here
them.
right.
I gotta tell them. Like, I gotta like, bro. I gotta have the same conversations with y'all every single day. I didn't put your ass in here.
Hey,
It's not my fault. I'm gonna need you.
I'm just here.
I actually told a youth the other day. He got mad at me because he couldn't get snack. He couldn't get a snack at
Oh
bedtime.
yeah.
He got
And
mad
make
at me.
his day.
He got mad at me. He got mad at me. And I said, bruh, listen, your name's on the list. And he's like, I don't care if my name's on the list. I'm supposed to get a snack. Like, nah, bruh. Right here, it says clearly you are
Listen,
not supposed to. And I
you
said,
ain't make your day.
he's like, man, I swear, these kids, I swear on my mama, I'm gonna take your head off. He said something like that. And I said,
Almost.
he
Yeah,
said, I'm
yeah.
my mama, I'm my daughter, I'm a kid. Like, bro, listen here. You need to just own up. You need to own up to your shit, right? You need to own up to your shit. If you want your snack, stop getting written up and start following instructions. Own up to your shit.
Easy.
You know what I mean? And
You don't
like,
do nothing but
and
line up,
he
go to
didn't say
class,
much. He didn't say
eat.
much after that. All he said, don't talk to me. And he sat his ass down. Like, And that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of, the kind of things that they're
Yeah,
not used to. They're not used to another male telling
accountability.
them, right. They're not used to another male, especially. A lot of them are used to
But
take
doing it
ground
without, but doing it without violence though. Like doing it
without
without,
violence.
like you're showing
Absolutely.
up something different. Like I don't have to put hands on you to have
Right.
you understand that
And it
I need you
mhm.
to do something.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
then
is it like
if you notice, like I just mentioned, like they go immediately into fight mode. Immediately into
yeah,
fight mode.
first quarter?
There's no
You
like
sizing me?
there's maybe 10 to 20 seconds of having, cordial conversation,
Yeah,
right?
they want to
And
fight.
then right after that, it's just 0 to 60 in 0.2 seconds. So
Yeah,
and that's the kind of work that people don't understand that we do. Like it's one of those things, and I'd say this all the time, is you gotta have you gotta have some screws loose to do what we want to do.
oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I'm definitely
like
normal. I ain't
wanting to
look.
do it,
I'm not normal at all.
wanting
Oh
to,
yeah,
we both are,
you're a
brother.
special kind.
We
You are a special
For
kind.
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Wanting
for
to do
real.
it, but genuinely having their best interest at heart. You know what I mean? And
and you know what, man?
it's a
And this is what
it's
the
a hard
thing is.
combination to have. It's a hard combination to have because
Yeah,
you gotta constantly check yourself. You know what I mean? I'm always asking myself this question:
yeah,
is like, like why am I going back to that prison? It's because I have a strong ass why. It's because somebody was there to keep my ass out of trouble when I was that age, right? So I want to give back
yeah.
that way, right? But then
Paying it forward.
also at the same time, I have kids their age. And so,
Yeah,
I think of that could be my kid. And
who
I
you
want to
telling?
and I want to do right. I want to do right by their parents. You know what I mean? Cuz
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
would sure want that for my kids if they were in that
you know,
situation.
one of the things that, and you're 100% correct, and I didn't think about it, but one of the things that really bright my day up as a barber and as a supervisor, and then when I worked in the program as an instructor now, is when I was in the program and I used to cut the kids have a full family day. The
Mm,
first thing you're gonna do when you see your kid and you haven't seen your kid in a while is look them up and down.
mm.
I want to see if my baby's okay, no matter what the relationship
Sure.
is between those two.
Yeah.
You start to look at it
You
and
want to
you
make sure
like,
they're all right.
they're okay. So that haircut when they come in and they family seeing like, I ain't never seen your hair cut like this before, and they having that moment and having those kids come hug you like, man, I ain't seen my mama in so long, man. I sure appreciate you for the cut, man. Everybody love
Yeah.
the cut, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and do that, man, and I'm getting a little touched by it now because there was so many kids that did. There was
Yeah.
so many on visitation kids that when I cut their hair for visitation, or when their
Mhm.
grandma and their granddad come, they ain't seen their family members in a while. And I was
Yeah.
given that opportunity to sit in there and just see where it came from.
Right.
Like, okay, well, and a lot of them, like, y'all chose this just because you were bored, because you have parents that care. You
Mm,
have parents that have the resources and stuff that you don't have to steal. You just want to be a klepto.
that's
So
right.
you need to be off in here to realize that that's not right. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you need to get these consequences. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if I'm gonna pay for being up here, and I tell them, I say, look at my trade-off. I'm raising y'all instead of my own kids, and I'm still giving a damn. And
Basically.
I still
Yeah.
gotta go home, and I gotta be a dad, I gotta be a husband, and I
Yep.
just spent 16 hours with you, and I ain't even slept yet.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. 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 I or eight,
So you need to
motherfucker.
realize,
So I'm
yeah,
beyond.
yeah, like.
I'm beyond. I'm beyond angry. I'm hangry, motherfucker. Listen.
Yeah, like right now I ain't got nothing to eat. I'm trying to scavenge your room for contraband and see if you got snacks. I'm trying to survive out here. Y'all making me bricks. I'm trying to get birthday cakes in there, whatever
Yeah.
y'all making. Like I got involved. Like I, they're like, hey
Ramen,
man,
ramen
canteen.
noodles, and
Yeah, yeah, like hey man, canteen
yeah,
coming up, man.
boy.
Who got me? You know what I mean? I can get you a big Texas. I got you. You know what I mean? So being there, sometimes you have to interact with the kids on the food level. But for
Mhm.
my students, um, I'm so proud of them, bro. I can't. When we're talking about different places in life, bro, I couldn't be any happier where I am right now
Good, man. I
just
love it.
because my boss man gave me an opportunity
Yeah.
because he's seen what I love to do.
I absolutely love what you do. And I appreciate, everybody else that does what you do because they're far and few in between. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to, you know, the, the environment that we're in, and like
Yeah,
just to be in that, put yourself in that environment willingly around these individuals. I mean, like you said,
yeah,
it takes a special person, like literally, like it really does, because
yeah.
not everybody can have a mindset like that. You know what I mean? And it's not for
I
everybody.
know.
It's really not. I've seen so
You find
many.
that out first week.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, like, I've met. I went through the academy with so many good people, but
Hmm.
good people do not make it in this
At
line of
all.
work. You gotta
And
have
it hurt their
you
heart too.
gotta have a
It hurt.
mindset for this. You gotta have a mindset.
It,
I'm telling
it, it hurt those the people with the golden hearts and the platinum hearts, man. Like
you.
just to see a kid, if it's not resembling your kid or having you feel that way, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the older people that grandkids.
Right.
And to
Yes.
know what type of love they put into
That's a big
their
one.
own family
That's a big
and
one.
trying to put it out there and
That's a
to
big one. Yes.
see somebody in the middle of the team that's supposed to be making it better,
Right.
they're not.
Right.
But I remember my first 2 weeks in, I was doing my training, and I did my first 2 week, bro. It was a riot on both sides. Everybody
Wow.
fighting. So this lady, so this lady came in, Miss Anderson, bless her heart. She came in, and there was one kid showing his behind on the level 8 side. And she's like, you know what? He had a headache. All he needed to do was somebody to talk to him. Bro, we in here on the computer
Wow.
trying to do the CBTs, right? So we hear Cole Green, Cole Green, Cole Green. Ah! So they running. So this is my first introduction into kids losing their shit. So as she's saying that to us, going on the CBT to help us out, Nicole Green had, because she just handled the situation. She come back tired as hell. He lost his shit. He lost his shit, huh? I don't know what. I don't know what happened. That was a strong 10 minutes from when you went to go check on him
Yeah.
to right now. This situation. So we started out with 8 people in my class.
Mm.
I was the only two of us was the only one that stayed inside
Yeah,
of there.
man.
People quit during the what you call it. It was just one of those things that I stayed because I had a means to an end.
Yeah. You
I
know,
stayed because they reminded me of some of the people who I've dealt with in the military. Think about the different levels of life that you've been through, and you met
oh
that one
yeah.
airman that was just like, "What the?" Now I get it. But
Right.
then you start talking, and they were like, "Y'all from the same area." I got to deal with this. I had to deal with this. You know what
I
I'm
had to
saying?
I had to
And
tell I
and
had to tell so like what they'll do is people that are going through the academy is they'll send like, so you'll have a couple weeks OJT before you actually go live, before you actually start in the units. And so
yeah,
they started sending the OJTs like last week. And so I was telling one of the OJT guys, I said, how you liking it so far? Right. And he's like, oh, it's good. It's good. And I said to
mm,
him, yeah. And not very convincing at all. But I said to him, I said, he said, oh man, I do like the benefits though. And like, you get paid pretty good. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, they take care of you for sure. They take care of your family as well. I mean, you make pretty good money doing this and you can write your own paycheck basically. Right. I said that to him. I said, but honestly, my man, like, is that what's going to keep you in the game? And he looked at me funny and he kind of like, kind of side, did the whole head turn thing. And he's like, what you mean? I was like,
mhm.
I don't know. For some people, money might be a motivational factor. It'll keep them in it. For some people, I don't know. Um, but you gotta have a strong ass why as to why you are doing this. In
Yeah,
there was my staff just so happened to be that day. She was a CPS worker, She was a caseworker. She wasn't my normal staff,
Mm-hmm.
and she was there too. She was listening, and she kind of did one of those side eyes too. She was on her laptop, and she kind of looked at me like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" And I said, and I looked at both of them. I said, "Man, your head has got to be in the game. Your heart's got to be in it for sure." You know what I mean? A lot of the staff that I talked
Yeah.
to, that's been in this game for years, they're disgruntled because it just turns into it goes from wanting to help, and then it goes into like you're in it for 5 years, 6 years, and you just kind of like, now I'm just going through the motions. But I think that a lot of it has to do with the programs that
Yeah.
they set in place. A lot of it has to do with the policy, because it's, from what I understand, it changes so much. And we're actually on
Yeah.
another pendulum swing now because we have new leadership. So like high above, like the warden, the head superintendent of all the prisons, youth prisons here
Yeah.
in Ohio, it that's changed. And then we also have,
Yeah.
so at the facility that I'm at, the supervision there's changed as well. So we're constantly
Yeah.
seeing this, like favor in for one thing go this way, and then like a few months later it changes again. So and people are just not flexible. But one of the things that the military teaches you is what? To be adaptable,
Adaptability.
to be
Adapt.
to be flexible, right? And so
Just
it
walk the
yeah,
matter.
I told this guy, I said, my man, like I'd love to see you stay, but you gotta have a heart check. You gotta have a gut check, man. You know what I mean? I gut check myself every day. I don't want to go into that
Yeah.
prison, and I don't want to do this for the wrong reason. You know what I mean? Like it's
You know what I'm
great.
saying?
It's great. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to, like I can buy things. I can I can buy my kids whatever. You know what I mean? I don't have
Yeah.
to I don't have to think twice about price tags. You know what I mean? Like I can do those things, but at the same time though, there's always a price to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
Definitely.
always
It's a tax.
there's always a
They
tax.
ain't gonna yeah,
Right.
they ain't gonna hit you right out of the pocket right quick. It's gonna
No,
be
no.
they're gonna slowly trickle, and then you
Slowly.
realize,
Yep.
dang man, like I'll almost roundhouse my coworker. You know what I mean? You doing stuff like that because they ain't like, man, you better get out my face. What's wrong with you? Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I
Yeah.
lost my spot for a second. Like
Yeah.
I've been submerged in this environment, and
Yep.
I don't want to become what my environment is, but I'm
Sure.
around it so much.
Right. Yeah. And
So you know
and
what I
that's
mean?
part of
Calling
that's
you.
that's part of checking yourself. You know what I mean? Like, cause
Yeah.
I gotta like, I'm starting to listen to the same music as these kids are listening to. And so I gotta check.
Load to verses and
I gotta
everything.
check. But you know what? Too.
Doing one of
Oh
these
my
and shit
god,
for no reason.
bro! Like
Damn.
doing this gang,
Yeah, just for no reason.
gang. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know
but
what's going on.
again though, it's giving me a little bit of insight into what these kids' backgrounds are like. And so,
Yeah.
nothing changed. I know when I was that age, and it was the same thing, just a different time. You know what I mean? Like they get
Yeah.
into they get into this lifestyle because the gang is their only family, right?
Yeah.
And what does a family provide? What does every kid need? They need love, and they need
Yeah.
stability, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's what gangs do for them. The gang provides
Yeah.
that love, right?
Yeah.
The brotherhood or whatever, and it also provides them the stability. So what do gangs do? They commit crime, right? And that's how they take care of themselves or their family. But it's one of those things though. You gotta, I don't know. It's a I try to explain it to people that don't understand this. And it's
I
hard.
got a
It's
perfect
hard.
way for you to do it. No, I got a perfect way you can do it. I figured it out. And here it is. You're talking
Here
about
it
gang
comes.
members in
Here it
military.
comes.
You're
I
talking about gang members in military. So I was talking to a young individual, not only in the school that I'm going to, but also in the program, right? And we keep flowing back into the program because it actually connects into what
sure.
the legacy of what we're trying to do. So I said, hey, look, I was in the military, you're in the game, right? He said, yeah. I said, what rank are you in your game?
Mm,
He told me his rank. I said, yeah, I was at rank. You ain't in no gang. I said, yeah, I was in the authorized gang. Like,
Legal gang.
yeah, I was in a legal gang. Like I
Right.
said, you got street soldiers, right? Yep, those are the little guys doing all the work, right? And then you got sergeants and like captains and stuff, right? Those are the same military rank structure.
Mhm.
Who is your OG? Guess what? We got an OG in the military too. He just
Yeah.
ran the whole thing, right?
Right.
It's called a commander.
Right.
So
Right.
I say, you're fighting and getting shot and killing people for whatever resident that you're renting.
Mm.
I'm leaving the United States to make sure your ignorant ass can do that dumb ass shit. So nothing different. You're just in jail for yours. I'm here talking to you about your experiences now.
And being a dumbass at the same time. Yeah.
Because I say, hey, I'm the dumbass in the military. I did my dumb ass. I did my fair share. I said some crazy ass shit to a lot of people who I shouldn't even been talking to. But at the end of the day, they knew who I was. At the end of the day, come my work ethic
Yeah.
supersede anything that I ever said towards.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I was taught, do what you say. You know what I mean? And it'll fall out. Sometimes it just don't work out.
Right.
And what I realized, people get angry at you over the thought process of what they would have did for you in a similar situation, not hearing your side of the story of why you didn't perform that task of how they felt like you should have.
Mm.
If that was confusing,
I feel like that's a staff that
imagine.
I feel like that's a staff that I work with.
You see
Some
what I'm
man,
saying? So that
most of the
means
most of the
so that means people.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now think about when you had that dumbass staff sergeant inside of in the Air Force. Your one man was acting a little weird. You had a weird one. Everybody had a weird one man. If you didn't, I'm sorry, I was your weird one man. So so but you gotta think, man, like what I'm learning right now, what I'm trying to not only teach to the kids, but some of the students, man, like, hey bro, like we don't have to grow up in the same area and do the same stuff
Sure.
to get to the same goal.
Right.
I've been taught for 15 years. It doesn't matter where you come from. We got a goal.
Sure. And you
And
know, I,
and what I'm
I like saying this, man. I like saying this, especially to the kids, is yeah, I tell this to everybody when it comes to like growth, like personal growth, just progress in life in general. Like I love saying this to them is,
yeah,
listen, I grew up in the same environment that you did. I didn't come from a great neighborhood. I grew up in the projects too. You know, I can't relate to you as far as like my parents. I had great parents. They worked very hard for me and my brothers to provide for us,
mm-hmm,
but they did work their ass off. There are some things
mm-hmm,
from the hood that you can keep, right? There are most of the things like if you, especially when it comes to wanting to be better in life and do better in life, right? Most of the stuff you're gonna have to leave behind you. You're gonna have to leave in the hood. You're gonna have to leave that hood shit behind. You
yeah,
can't you can't take that gangster shit with you because that's not how the real world
at
works.
all.
Unfortunately, unfortunately,
Yeah,
in the real world, we follow instructions. In the real world, we do what our boss says, right? And if you don't do those things, then that's your job, that's your income, right? But most of
yeah,
these kids, they don't know that because in the hood, right? They don't have a boss. Well, essentially, they have, like I said, they come from this gang life, but you know, they
yeah,
they're putting in work in a different way, and it's not,
yeah,
um, but they don't understand the like. And I try to instill this into them all the time is, man, you got to follow instructions. You got to follow instructions. When you can follow
yeah,
instructions, then that's when the good things start happening. When you can follow instructions, then you'll get more freedom. Then you'll get more things, right? You'll get more, you'll
yeah,
be able to have more, more things in your possession. But
yeah,
that's only until you can start following directions. People will see that you start to follow instructions. Oh, okay. He can actually start working in the calf, or he can start working on the
Yeah,
yard, and
yeah.
doing extra things. But
Responsibility.
having responsibility, because
Having
you can
responsibility.
be entrusted with it because you can follow
Yeah,
instructions. And they
you can do it.
but they didn't have somebody telling them, hey, this is right, this is wrong, or hey, you got to do this or else. And I
Once
had
again,
a
I kind of feel like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I kind of
no,
feel
you're
like
good, man.
the perspective on that, right, is what's right and what's wrong.
Hmm. Oh,
A
that's
lot of
that's
people
big
like
gray
to
area,
talk
yeah, for
about,
sure.
yeah, and that's a lot of people like to use to you. It's common sense.
Hmm. Oh,
Once
absolutely.
again, a wise man told me, common sense is what's common to you, not what's common to me.
Sure.
If I did something wrong, if I've never seen that before, it's not common.
Sure. Right.
So how could you expect me to go through your mind and figure out what's common when I've never seen it before?
Right.
So
And
now
that's
the energy that you put towards me is negative
mhm.
because I didn't think the way that you did when you think that we all should have known
And
this,
that's why
but
we
we all didn't
need
have the same upbringing.
individuals such as yourself put in these positions to show these kids, to tell these kids, hey, this
It's
is what's
different.
right. This is what's right. This is the way to go.
But even if you
I had
get it
somebody to
wrong,
do that for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so like, and like you said, though, it is perspective, but you know, it'll be a whole lot better from what they're used to and what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, it's on point.
And
So I
that's
tell a lot of coworkers,
mhm.
I tell like so for my coworkers, my boss man, and I had another barber individual. Until I started going to school, I really didn't have barber friends. I was the only weird one that liked hair in the room. Right? I was
Sure.
that weird guy. Like,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
lined you up? Like they keep. I'm supposed to be looking in your eyes, but I'm looking at your lineup because I kind of feel like I can do something a little bit better. And they're
Why
like,
you
why are
got
you
a
looking at me
five
like
head,
hair?
bro? Why you got a five
Why are
head,
you
bro?
looking at me like that? You know what I mean? So I'm the weird one. I like hair. So being around those individuals that like I say, my boss man, he opened up the school right around 2014. Until I got hired on, he haven't been on vacation. He's been grinding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my other coworker, like a lot of people, sometimes a lot of people rub you the wrong. He's been in the army, man. They call him, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot of the military stuff that we understand is weird, that's really gonna be weird to the civilian population.
Yeah.
No matter how our career is in the military, and I want it to be understood, especially from my point of view, is even though we may say we had the best time serving our country, there were assholes that made it difficult for no reason.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
There are people that's gonna be out there that just not see it the way that you know what I mean. They're gonna make it rough for you.
All right.
And to be able to come in and what I told them, and I set them down individually and I got them together. I said, hey, bro, y'all need to look, man. Like, I'm here to help.
All right.
I'm not here to hinder. I'm not here to stop. You say we got a vision. I'm all about that vision. Just let me know what I need to do because you guys are taking a chance on me. You two are already settled into what y'all got.
Yeah.
I'm the liaison between what y'all already got set in and what my experience that I've done in the military or if I've done for myself, I can give a different perspective.
All
You
right.
know, y'all worked in barbershops. I created barbershops.
Sure.
I did my own. And
Right.
I got it on mine. I paid for it. I did. I ain't ask for no loan. I ain't go talk to nobody. If
Love
I
that.
wanted to do something in the barber industry, I did it. But I did it in a way that it wouldn't break my bank.
Sure.
I did it in a way that I'd be like, hey, look, if you're my customer, man, I need to get another pair of clippers. So how about this? You give me the money to get my clippers, and you already done basically paid for all your haircuts because the clippers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't even worry about it until we all squared up on what I owe you. Just come by as many times you need. Get your, I'm still gonna make sure you're straight.
Right.
So a lot of my clients and my customers, they real hard. They don't realize how much they invest in me until recently.
Mm.
Because I would call a client and be like, hey man, I want to appreciate you, but look what you just got. You know what I mean? I'm showing them what they got. Then I give them
Yeah.
the fives haircut
Yeah.
better than the old equipment that I had. So now
Right.
you see the progression. You see what your investment is in me, and you see how I'm striving to be better. Because every time I
Sure.
cut your hair, I be like, I'm gonna do better next time. And you're
Yeah.
like, nah, bro, this is exactly what I want. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I already cut your hair. Like, this haircut is 4 haircuts back. I'm playing catch up. I already know I'm building
Yeah.
up
Right. Right.
to
Right.
what's
Right.
really gonna blow your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always thinking about it. I'm always trying to educate. Uh, I'm always trying to make sure that sometimes the lies are a little blurred, but at the same time, the conversation that we could have instead of having an argument and you being mad for 14 months over some stuff, I could just be like, no, man, that ain't what happened.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you be so close with certain people. And it happened to me for a while that I would get a group of people who I'm around, and I realize, and I know I'm too much sometimes. I know that. And I'm not going down. I'm not going to turn down because you can't turn up. I'm not going to do that.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that?
Sure.
So I'm not saying that the level that you're on isn't on par with mine because once again, it's perspective. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
all I'm saying is I'm rolling through and I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have.
Absolutely.
And if you allow me in your space and you got something to add, I don't need nothing in return. Just help me out.
Sure.
Because maybe something that I'm doing and something that you're doing that we connected, it can bring us both up. You know what I mean? So I say, look, bro, I know y'all got PTSD from people doing you wrong.
Mm.
You going in with your heart and you are waving with heart on your sleeve and you going in there and you giving people your everything and then they're just shitting on you. I understand, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
So you don't have to let your guard down, but I want you to know that I'm not here to hinder you. If
Sure.
I was here and if I feel like I wasn't going to get especially what I needed and I wasn't going to provide you what you're looking for, then I would go work somewhere else. Like I
Sure.
said, I created barbershops on my own. I'm trying to do mobile barber because being able to hire barbers and being able to get somebody so everybody can't leave the house. So
Hmm.
now my thought process is on special needs, the elderly,
Yeah. Especially with COVID
uh,
too. You got COVID. You
COVID.
know that pays a
You know what I
huge
mean?
part.
Being able to be in a
Yeah.
position where I'm in school about sanitation, sterilization,
Yeah.
having my own things where I'm trying to introduce different things that where the barber now they're calling barbers to go to
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Right.
can't come to the shop because they'll be closed. You ain't work mid shift. So you get
Mm.
off at 7, the barbershop will open to 10. So you're gonna risk sitting in the barbershop for 8 hours or 3 or 4 hours waiting on your barber while you need to go to sleep. And by
Yeah.
the time you get home from doing whatever, now it's time to get up and go to work.
Right.
So how about I catch you on your day off? How about if my day off, like if I can get you in the morning before I go to school, or if I can get you right after I get to school, I just need the support and the adjustment from not only family members, but I also need something for your family because I could be intervening or interrupting the time that you got with your family, but you need a haircut because your job dictates
Sure.
it. Then I used to tell people that when I used to cut in Germany, I said the reason why I'm taking this so serious, not only because I love it, because I'm in charge of image. And in
Mm.
the military, image is everything.
Absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you ain't got your haircut right, you're not getting promoted. Depends on which branch you're in.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
People sneak this and don't like you. All of you could be doing the best thing ever. You can save them out of a burning jet, burning fire, and they'd be like, "Well, your boots are laced up wrong, so I hate your guts." Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like the pet
your
peeve,
your
motherfuckers at work.
lineups off.
You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
keeps you from getting the money, but you're well qualified. And people don't understand that
Mhm.
if you put me in charge of that and part of your life, bro, I have to take it serious.
Sure.
Like I'm doing ladies haircuts and stuff now, bro. I can dye hair. I can,
That's
you
what's
know what I
up.
mean? I'm trying to go to esthetician school, bro. Like
Expanding, bro. I like it.
I'm trying to be, but personally for me, I feel like it's the next step.
Sure.
I don't feel like I mastered barbering. I just feel like, okay, I need to start enhancing or developing something else. So I have students now. Students are gonna ask me questions.
Mhm.
If I keep hitting them with a they're gonna stop asking me questions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So continue the education. So going from actually having a person that's a master, only master, one of the only master barbers in this part of Florida,
Hmm.
like documented master barber
Wow.
on the hip, phone
Wow.
call. Hey man, look, I got some stuff going on, but to have this individual thank me every other day, man, I sure appreciate you being there, bro. Because now I can go out and I can complete my vision.
Yeah.
Bro, if that isn't fulfillment in what you're doing, and bro, I got my barber's license in November.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I started school in February of 2021, and I'm an instructor at that same school currently.
Wow.
Just signed the paperwork to say I'm an official instructor,
Wow. Yeah.
and I'm looking at it like, well, I work to get it, but a lot of people like, that's unheard of. And I'm like, to be honest, this has always happened to me in my life. I've always talked myself up into something horrible, or if it were gonna be something great. And there's been a lot of great things that have happened more than the horrible.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outgrind you, and I don't
Wow.
have to sweat to do it.
As
I don't
a
have to move a mountain.
as a man thinketh, right? I mean, not like what we're talking about is manifestation. I mean, some people are born to do certain things, but if I firmly believe that, like if you tell yourself, I am gonna make more money, I am gonna have a bigger house, I am gonna have a better car or whatever the case may be, like and you talk yourself into that, of course, with doing the work, because you know you know it's faith is dead if without works, right? You know what I mean? Like you can have all the
Yeah,
faith and you can say all these things, I'm going to have my own barber's school and I'm going to have a bunch of barbers around the area, you can say all those things, but if you're not putting in the work, then it doesn't matter, right? But if you're putting in
yeah,
the work, and you constantly tell yourself, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, like it's going to manifest. It's just being
yeah.
able to stay consistent and being able to be persistent, right? I'm watching I'm not a big TV guy. I kind of binge watch. I have like Hulu or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm watching Man in the Arena. It's a documentary on Tom Brady's career. And it's actually pretty
Okay.
good. It's actually pretty good. I watched maybe like a couple episodes last night, and it's pretty like that's what he talks about. You know what I mean? He's just nothing. Actually, a lot of the guys that he gets on that are on the documentary, they all say the same thing as to why they are so successful. And that's the big reason why I'm watching this documentary, is to see, just to kind of get in the brain of Tom Brady, right? Because he's so great. I know a lot of people out there, they'll probably say, fuck Tom Brady. But
Yeah.
not only do I think he's one of the greatest to play the game, but what makes him so successful, right? I'm just so intrigued by that. Anybody, not just Tom Brady, but anybody,
Hmm.
you too. Like
Anybody. Yep.
why are they so successful? What does it take to be in that position, right? And they all say the same thing, and like I totally agree with this, is it's just putting in the work. That's
Putting
all
it
he
in.
says. It's putting in the work. There's nothing,
And
there's
I
no
think
secret, there's like no magic spell you put on yourself. It's just putting in the work and being consistent.
you know what I think I think it kind of is. Let's deal with spiritual for a second. So you said some type of spare, right? But think about it. Your ambition, right?
Yeah.
Your drive, uh being able to see past the problem to know what the result is. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
That's
So
believing.
being able
Yeah,
to,
believing.
yeah.
Right.
So being able to have the right group of people around you that see it the same way you did,
Mhm.
getting around like people with the like mind.
Right.
So you ain't got no arguments or whatever. But you know what I always do? I always get a random I always get a person that gonna tell me, that ain't gonna work. Not for the fact of hating on it, It's just the fact that they got a different perspective.
Okay.
So now I'm using that as like, so why won't it work? So now I'm asking questions. Instead of getting offended, I'm asking questions. So why
Okay,
not?
let's see
Why
about
won't, what
that.
am I not?
Yeah.
Yeah, what no, what am I not doing to have you feel that way? Not the fact that I need your validation, not the fact that I need you to push through. It's just the fact that you see something that I don't. Now I'm
Mm,
intrigued. So now if I got your information, and this how you get trapped. So this I got the information for you, and I said, well, could you help me out? Because I'm trying to do this. You said I can't, but you said I got this. But who do you know that do it?
mm,
I'm asking the questions that get them hype about it. Oh man, I can talk to this guy. Well, go ahead, let me call him, man. Call him up for me, man, and let
yeah,
me talk to him. Let me see what I got to do.
sure.
Your hating just got me to my next level, and I had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
You did exactly what I was asking.
yeah.
What you told me know about, you gave me the information to help me get to where I need to. And guess what I'm gonna say, man? I appreciate you. So I don't want to deal with this part since you know about it. Would you be able to handle this for me, man? Like whatever compensation, I don't need nothing but a little bit or nothing at all.
Mm,
So if it's something that you like to do, man, how about could you help me out? We already
right.
on that level that we're having a conversation to that. Would you be able to do that? So now
Hmm.
this is so once you get that information, I'll be like, hey, so if I'm trying to get from point A to where I am now to point B, and you gave me the information to fill that void, in that void, what are you interested
Mm,
in? What is the thing that you love the most? All
right.
right, well, if this is what you love the most, how about let's do something?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Let's do
Yeah.
I'm doing what I love. And you helping me get me to where I need to go.
Hmm.
So let's start looking at what you love and see how if we can tie it in. Everything goes in the barber.
Sure.
Music, clothing,
Sure.
no matter what it is. Everybody
Absolutely.
gonna need a haircut. I'm
Yeah.
in an untapped resource. Even if you are bald, I still go over it with a razor. I make you
Right.
feel special. I scrub your scalp.
Right.
Nice essential oils in
There's something for
there. You know
everybody
what I'm
at
saying?
Marcus's shop. Yeah.
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to be able to provide that, but also when you step into my area and my life and my zone, whenever you bring something up, I want to be able to say I know a guy.
Mm.
Not for
Networking.
my personal thing,
Yeah.
not for my personal thing. I had a friend barber that tell you, man, I'm gonna start calling your ass network.
Yeah.
Cause here's a funny story about that. Here's a funny story about that. So I go and I get my hair cut because I stopped cutting my own hair since I work at a barber shop. So so the new fine friend, Keith Hollis. Keith Hollis is one of the guys that when you talking about a jack of all trade and about to master all of them. This guy is a boxer,
Mm,
a barber, make music. He's trying to write all these types of stuff and writing a book.
mhm,
Like this man is on the grind. So I end up meeting him, going through the school, talking to him. We connected, we clicked right away. But another thing that I do is I also modify and I rebuild and I do stuff like that with clippers. Once again, since I was cutting in Japan and all that, I ain't had nobody to tell me how to adjust my clip. You got cut a
mhm,
bunch of times for my clippers. Like, you know what I
mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
But we straight now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I went by and he cut my hair and I said, hey, I got something for you because either we pay or we barter with something. Like,
Sure.
hey, since
Right.
I'm doing this haircut for you, I got something for you. So
Right.
I got a pair of clippers. I modified them to do whatever I needed to do. And he was involved in the haircut. Like he was in, I walked in, he was cutting the hair. And I know the look on their faces. I'm an instructor. I know he wasn't having a problem with it, but it wasn't looking like he wanted it to look. So I went to his
Mm,
spot, I sprayed the clippers off, and I was holding them. And he was working in that area. I said, hey man, try these. He turned them on. He said, man, I've been trying to get this thing for a second, bro. These clippers that you gave me got knocked, whatever I was trying to knock out. He started showing like everything, right? So the guy who he was cutting was a coworker because he's a barber in a tattoo parlor, right? He got his own room set up, a bunch of tattoo artists around.
Hmm.
Well, one of those guys was an actual tattoo artist, right? So he said, hey man, I linked up with him on Facebook or whatever. And a couple days passed. He said, man, if you know anybody, let me know. And I said, all right, cool, no problem. So That keep up, I gotta go back to work. 4 days later, a client called me to come get a hair. I pull up to cut the hair. He said, man, you know any tattoo artist? So I'm trying to get the rest of my tattoo done. I said, matter of fact,
As a matter of
I got
fact.
one on Facebook. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I do. So I sent him the information that day. Keith called me 2 days after that. He said, man, I knew you had something cooking. That's why I'm really gonna start calling you network, because one of your clients come by and got a tattoo. And I was like, yeah, I told him to go buy that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he was asking, and I seen some of the
That's
guys
how
work. So I was
that's
like,
how networking that's how small businesses work.
but you know what I'm saying? But in the sense of it happened between a 5 day span. Like it things like that are happening right now. So I'm trying to get the individuals who are eager and ready
Yeah.
to actually get in and help. Because one
Yeah.
thing somebody told me, if you got your business, you ain't gonna be in
Hmm.
mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All about that lane situation. I don't want to
Yeah.
do anything outside of barbering because it's not my lane. There's a guy for that.
Sure.
And somebody just as eager to want to make that come up as well. Somebody that want to do it in their lane and want to get it on their own. But in the sense of, I'm trying to tell some people that you don't have to. You
Hmm.
don't have to do it by yourself. You don't
Right.
have to go out of your way and make sure, you know what I mean, feel like that you're always working. And by the time you get to the fruits of your labor, you either broke down, you worn out. You can't fully enjoy your blessings because you had your head down all the time.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm trying to do it in a way that not only can all of us prosper, all of us benefit from it.
Hmm.
And the only thing I would ask is just like, hey man, either you pay it forward, or if I need you, hit me. I don't need to, but there's always another opportunity out there for somebody that's going to need your assistance. There's always out there somebody always needed, and we're in a unique position as in being those barbers, nail tech, masseuse, anybody out there that deal with anything in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
You're needed in such a way that a person can't finish an event or start an event without you. Imagine that. Like you going to go to your brother's wedding. I know you're going to stop by the barbershop. You
Mm.
got to.
Sure.
If not, you'll feel like you did yourself a disjustice and you disrespected your brother,
Hell
your
yeah.
mama,
I disrespected my
or
entire
you feel
family.
like you had time to get here to get a hat. Why you
They
didn't get
gon'
your damn hat?
they gon'
They're
they
gonna
gonna
be
give
on
you
your ass.
that. They gonna give you that up down look like for
Oh,
real.
so we don't know Bob. We're
For
gonna do a
real.
whole podcast about barbers. You don't know no Bob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like even with I got a niece, man, that like several nieces that do hair. A couple nieces that make the beauty products.
Hmm.
My sister made soaps, like organic soaps with essential oils in it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to bring
Awesome.
all of that into. I'm trying
Yeah.
to have my family help me get my brand out
Yeah.
there. I want my own shaving line. I want my own fragrance line. I want my own soaps because when I pull up to your house to cut your hair, I want all of my stuff to have my name on
Yep.
it. And it's gonna have entry. You're gonna ask.
I wouldn't
You know what I mean?
expect I
Hey,
wouldn't expect anything less from you, Marcus. I knew. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I knew that you wasn't going to have it any other way. That just the type of individual that you are.
yeah.
But
Yeah, and I'm trying because I'm trying. I say it's a lot of stuff that's an untapped resource, and a lot of people don't know that they need it until they need it.
no,
You know what I mean? And then if you come
it's
up
called
with some type of
monopolizing the
business,
game. That's what it's called.
trying to, but at the
Yeah.
same time, bro, we all can eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't trying to
Absolutely.
monopolize it to the point where you know what I mean. Your luxury tax keep you out of Park Place. I'm
Yeah.
not trying. I'm not trying to have you like that. Now you stand on Baltic. You trying to
Sure.
figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have that. I'm trying to have it to where if we're all out here to succeed, I'm not gonna be the one that help you fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On top of So I got another client. I'm working on the clothing line for barbers. One of my clients, JB. You see me, JB Brandon. You see me post a lot of his stuff out there with the female line and all that. He's the one that helping me get my clothing line together
Mm,
because I had an idea while I was cutting his hair. Hey,
right.
bro, I'm gonna talk. So the first time he connected with me, Joseph Berry. He connected with me off of Facebook. I had
Hmm,
no idea who this guy was.
right.
He hit my phone. I wasn't even gonna answer the phone call. So I answered the phone. He said, "Hey, man, you the one that cut in time? You come to the house?" Yeah. So I ended up meeting up with him. I said, "What do you do?" "Yeah, I'm in this clothing thing. I'm trying to do that." And instantly, boop, I said, "I'm gonna talk to you a little bit later." A couple haircuts go by. I said, "You know when I was telling you I was gonna talk to you about this?" "Yeah." I said, "I'm trying to start this own clothing line." So I told him what I wanted. He said, "That sounds dope. I can do that. I
Hmm.
don't have the equipment and stuff now." So now he got to build up his stuff. So he's at the point of where, okay, I got to get my equipment. I got to get other things going. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
if you're not getting to me right away, it's okay. I got time. Only thing we have to do is stay healthy, bro.
Yeah.
I said, look, we're gonna stay time. So a couple times I brought him to my school. I brought him to the school and I said, hey, on the way up there, I said, hey, look, I need you to understand. There's certain people in here that do certain type of clothing line stuff. There's certain type of people that's in the music. There's other people that's in the photography. There's other people that's in here. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like, bro, I got the who's sitting in these chairs.
Sure.
So I want you to talk to them about what you do so you can be able to network in a way that if you're stumped on something, you don't have somebody going to have the information.
Sure. Yeah.
And if my boss man is there, you could talk to him on the business owner aspect. So I say, bro, you getting a lot of stuff right here, bro. And I said, the only thing I need for you is to just make sure you succeed, bro. And we're gonna make sure you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause I say, cause I'm also another thing to segue into that. Another thing that I'm trying to do, is I want to do, is be able to tap into the different barbers around the world. You know what I'm saying? So with my particular thing, and I don't know if it's trademark infringement or anything like that, but I go by MARCUTS.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So if I'm going by MARCUTS, and if it's anything out there like that, I can easily change it. But it's cool though because that's who I am. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
my name.
Right. Right.
Literally inside of that is my name.
Right.
So can't take that away from
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to do, so just say your barber in Ohio, he want to branch out, he want to go do some stuff, or the barber that just got out of school in Ohio, just got out of barber school, automatically become a 1099 contract unless you're working for somebody. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Unless you're working for like these weird sports clips and
Right.
so I do have something. I do have something against those places, but that's just for me to deal with in my own
Sure.
mind.
Sure.
But uh to be able to get that barber that's right out of school to be able to get not only their own particular brand of merchandise for them, being able to whatever clientele, because if you go on a barber school, you doing anything, you already got your clientele. Especially if you've been cutting for a little bit, you got a certain group of people they'll rather cut their own head off than let somebody else cut their hair.
Yeah.
You got loyal, like barbers have loyalty for when their clients have loyalty towards them like that.
Yeah.
So if I can be able to supply with a lot of stuff that I'm trying to work on right now, like, hey, you need legal advice? I want to be able to have a lawyer on the team. I want to be able to have an advertisement marketing person on the team. I want to be able to
Sure.
have a life insurance person on the team. I want to be able to have any aspect like real estate. But when I say I want to have those people on the team, I'm talking about I want these individuals to have their own businesses established.
Sure.
Because with that, your clients are going to need certain things.
Yeah. Because you don't want
And if you
them.
can be like, hey,
Yeah. You don't want them. You don't want them to
see,
walk into nothing. Like, yeah.
you
You
know what I'm
want them
saying?
to service
So,
at
so,
hand.
so
Yeah.
just say, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
because that road is hard. I've been through that journey. That road is
Sure.
hard trying to
Yeah. You
perfect
already.
your craft and get people to believe in you.
You
You know
already
what I'm
made.
saying?
You already made the
So
mistakes. You already been through the bad experiences. For
yeah,
sure. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
so I'm trying to have it with a team. It's a team effort, bro. I want to
and
be able
I'm
to have that
sure,
team.
and I'm sure, when you go, worldwide, or yeah, I'm sure the barbers will appreciate that, because a like-minded person, someone that's been in the shops, is, it's coming from them. So I'm sure they'll appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like you got a lot going on, and like I say, like I know when we had this conversation a few months ago, like I wasn't expecting anything less. I mean, I knew you had, if
Yeah,
ideas
man.
weren't already put out, and they're already being, implemented, then you at the very least had more ideas. So I'm not
Oh yeah,
surprised.
man. We all
Um,
building, bro. And,
yeah,
and
sounds like
once
you got a
again,
great
man,
thing going on, man.
I want everybody to be a part of it. I want everybody who has contact the game and contact me. I cut their hair. If they got a business, man, I'm here to, because y'all don't have no idea of how you guys help me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of things people don't understand. Sometimes my hair take you a long way. Sometimes passing by saying something funny to brighten somebody's day up. You have no idea
Yeah.
of
Sure.
what you just prevented or caused. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Like in a
Yeah.
positive way.
Sure.
You have no idea. So I'm trying to be responsible enough with how I put myself out there now, because if I got some people coming to me and talking about I'm their inspiration, and I got my kids talking about how I inspire them, and they may not want to be in the same field, but they want to be able to go out and help over something else that I've done.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I can't ask for any. If I ask for anything else, bro, I'm greedy.
Sure. Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I'm not appreciating the blessings that I already have, and
Right.
I'm already trying to process the fact that I got my barber's license, bro, and I got that in November. That's how fast things
Yeah.
move.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to play catch up, and especially with my own internal
Well,
feelings about it.
I'd
I feel
say you're
like
beyond catch up, man. I think, like I said, I admire what you're
because
doing,
it's
especially
more
with, for sure. Yeah.
for sure.
I admire what you do with the outreach, and, of course, having your own thing going on. I'm sure that, like, the combination is a hard thing to balance, especially with family time. But man, like,
Man,
I see, I see what you're doing, and to be able to finally sit down and talk with you about it, I'm even more, I've always respected you, but you definitely have my full respect, man. And I know it's a tough thing to do, because I was a business owner, and I do know what it takes. I mean, you're never off the clock when you're a business owner. So
yeah, yeah.
I definitely appreciate that, man, for sure. Um,
I appreciate
there's
all
there's
y'all,
always a
man.
question. There's always a question that I always ask everybody that are guests on the podcast, and I've made this a thing. But, um, if you could go back, and or right now, if you could speak to the younger Marcus, and give him advice, um, what would you tell him? What would you tell the younger you?
Um, Tune in and stop broadcasting. Shut the hell up sometime. Uh,
I think that's everybody.
stop. You know what I mean? Stop. Because what I used to run into is a lot of people like, "Hey, man, everything isn't a joke."
Hmm.
But what was confusing is you laughed before you told me that. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Or, or instead of being reactive with my words, because I was never really a violent kid. I ain't trying to get in no fights. I ain't trying to have nobody slap up on me and whip my ass. Even now, I even hate people hands. I'm a barber. And I hate people
I ain't
hands on
built
me.
like that.
You know what I mean? No, no,
Yeah.
it ain't the fact that I ain't even built. I just seen where it led up to. You know what I mean? Like, you ever been just really slapped really hard? Like that's the disrespectful shit. Like, you know what I mean? That somebody slap you or hit you or anything. That's why I ain't play football and shit. Like, I ain't want
Yeah.
nobody hitting me and then leaving the field. You know what I mean? I ain't like that shit. And
Sure.
if I'm on the different side of the ball, I can't hit you back. That'll be
Right.
targeted and shit. Like, I ain't even on that. So so talking to me, because I have the you asked, but I have these conversations with myself a lot. So I have that time. I would tell myself to reflect more
Mm,
on the consequences of the actions.
sure.
Um, be aware of not only of what your action does, but the after effect of the people around you. You know what I mean? It may be, even though it wasn't intentional to you, it still caused hurt and pain somewhere else.
Sure.
Uh, read the room. I would tell myself to read the room sometimes.
Mm.
Uh, because sometimes I'll be letting them cannons go and realize, ooh, I hit too many people with this one bullet. I wanted that shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I would tell myself, I would tell my younger self to make sure whenever you have that time to spend with your family, like be either be the person positively who you seen did a positive effect or impact on your life, and use the negative that you seen other people do and try to take what you need out of that to become a better person. I
Mm,
asked my brother
that's
one time,
good.
I said, what's your New Year's resolution? He said, be better than I was last year.
Mm, I like that. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Right.
Big up to my big brother Hard. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's the those are the things that I take to, and also not only with the tune in and start broadcasting, but also actually effectively listen. Because a lot of people may not want you to, they don't want you to fix it.
Sure.
They just want you to listen.
Listen. Yeah.
And being able to and tell the people exactly what you want. Because what I found out growing up later on is when I got a little bit older and start working, you know what I mean, being inside of CSSs and running programs and stuff like that, people don't want to hear that extra shit. Are you gonna be able to do it?
Mm,
But what I really needed to focus on and what I'm trying to do now, especially inside of my own relationship with my wife, my kids, or whoever I'm around, if I got it on my heart, bro, I gotta say it. Good, bad, and different. Like I feel like if I appreciate you, bro, I thank you.
yeah.
And don't be afraid to show the emotion because out here in this world, as men, we always tied down to what we're supposed to be. Like somebody tell you the accurate age and be like, you need the accurate age. Like I just got here. Like I've never been this age before. Fuck you mean? Like I'm still
Right.
learning.
Right. Right.
And who
Right.
and who and who do I have to emulate because the rest of the people at my age fucking suck. So who do I have? So I gotta make a path for myself.
Yeah.
So understand that there's always gonna be a no, but always understand that that no isn't it isn't that, like it isn't the end all be all.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I
It's
don't have
good.
to go up the mountain. I can go around it. I don't have to go around. I can go through it. You know what I mean? I can figure
It's
out
good.
whatever, however long that process to take is for me to bear. If you're along with the journey, you have to know that if I'm headed in a direction and you say you're here for different type of support, that's what I'm gonna need because if I stay consistent enough, consistency is something else. If I stay consistent enough to let you know that you can set your watch to me, then you should know when I'm joking. You should know when I'm telling the truth. You should know when I'm, you know what I mean? Not like not being genuine. You
Mm,
should know that when I really want to do something, you should know like what my intentions are. I shouldn't have to say, "Hey man, like I didn't mean that." Like if we're really close, you should automatically know for me if I hurt you is unintentional.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like knowing that. So a
Yeah.
lot of people, I gave too much of me to certain people, and they kind of squandered it a little bit.
Mm,
So now I would tell my former, I would tell my younger self, man, be wary of who you allow in your space.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Because when you get a little bit, because when you get a little bit older and life happens, career, families, grandbabies, like we at that age now. You're like all of that
Oh,
other stuff, like the world is changing.
yeah. I hope
You
not,
know what
but
I
we
mean?
are. We are. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like ooh, I got grades. Look at this. I got
Yeah, I know,
grades.
man. I got
Like, you
grades,
know
man.
what I'm
Damn.
saying?
Damn.
No, I love all mine. I love all mine. You know what I mean? But and that's the thing, man. Like being able to know that it's okay.
Mm,
It's okay to hurt.
yep.
It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's
Yep.
okay to show your emotions. It's okay to allow your kids to do that.
It's good.
You don't have to. It's okay not to be like what they were back in the day.
Right.
Because you'll listen to an old family member and they'll tell you how they used to do it, and you're like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would you do that now? Why would you try to tell me to do that?
Yeah.
Like when people used to tell you about the ass whoopings they got, and they tell you they thankful for them. I'm not thankful for no ass whooping. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
thankful for the food mom got. I'm thankful for the shoes they put on my. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for my parents for allowing me to be, and my family for allowing me to be Marcus. I've
Sure.
always been me.
Right.
Then if I act outside of character, that don't mean it's not me. That's just a version of me that I don't want to bring out.
Mm.
That's a version of me that I choose to keep away from you. So once I allow you into a certain space and you squander that space, we can't be cool no more.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And especially if you know how I am. So if something in your mind, like even you, if I know something is going to make you feel uncomfortable any type of way, outside of, hey man, to me, it was like I had to make the hard choice and this is what I made. You will understand that better than me doing some crazy weird stuff and knowing you're gonna be mad about it, but not saying anything to you. That would
Mm.
hurt the friend the most because you feel like we was at a better place.
Sure.
I thought that we were better than that, and obviously we're not.
Yeah.
So now I got to reevaluate what we got going on because I just put either a lot of time and energy towards whatever I thought was at a different level.
Yeah.
So what people would do, they'll, like I said, I'm not going to turn down because you can't turn up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Why
Be
should I?
you.
Why should I be? Yeah, why should I be dull in the room because you're? You know what I mean? You're them.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
I like I like quotes. I'm a big quoter. I love quotes. Um, I heard one that said like not you shouldn't give everyone access to your energy. Like not everybody should have
Yeah,
access to it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because not everybody can tolerate it. Whether that's a good way or a bad way, but
yeah.
not everybody can deal with it because it's either like when I say too much for them, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I'm saying it to where like like because
It's a
typically
lot.
generally like I'm pretty upbeat and I'm pretty generally like a happy person. So like when I get around
Yeah,
people that are not upbeat and they're just kind of like monotone, kind of just like even keel,
yeah,
it can be too much. It can be too much for them. But
yeah.
and not everybody's gonna accept that. Not everybody's gonna like not everybody wants to rise to your vibe, right? Some people just soar high automatically. Some people are just that way.
Automatically.
You know what I mean? It's not
But
even.
the thing, but how cool the thing about it too is always going back to where like it's okay.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm above anybody. I'm just saying I'm at a different place.
Yeah,
And if I've already been in that low place, don't
sure.
expect me to come. I'm not doing that.
I've said this on a I've said this on a podcast before. I said some of the most beautiful people that I know, some of the most beautiful people that like I've like talked to and just interacted with, um, they've gone to hell and back because they know how crappy and how shitty life can be. They know how crap they've been through it. You know what I mean? And they've or known somebody that's been through it. And then so now, like everything, the way that they live their life now is from just total uh gratitude. You know what I mean? Like they're just grateful.
Yeah,
And like for me, like that's the easiest way to live life. The easiest way to live life is to just being grateful. Just being grateful for what you have,
yeah, man.
counting your blessings every day, right? And
But the thing about it too, man, there's a lot of things too, man. A lot of people don't tell you. They expect you to know. And I'm working on this myself
mm,
with multiple. So that's why now, man, if I'm upset, hey man, I'm kind of upset about this, and here's why. Could you shed
yeah.
some light on it?
You're gonna have bad days, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
but you
that.
but, but you will be more apt to tell me the information of why things went down instead of me acting funny and
Yeah.
causing a wedge in that communication.
Mm.
You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
not everybody, and that's the thing too, is like that's part of your personality. That's your individuality. Is you can be transparent. Some people can't. Some people can't be transparent. Some
oh,
people,
oh, it
some
hurt
people,
them.
some people don't
But
want to be. You know what I mean?
yeah. But on top of that, knowing that people are gonna be people and it's okay.
Right.
Like the one thing I want to drive home if nothing else happens out of the question, bro, like it's okay. Like
Yeah.
I don't like for people who I just met. If I just met you and you decided I'm not your cup of tea, then I didn't know you prior to that
That's
time.
cool.
I'm gonna feel that void. It's all
That's
right,
cool.
bro. If I known you for 30 years, if I known you for 30 years and you decided to just the hell with you, Marcus, well damn, it was a good 30.
Right. Yeah.
I
No.
gotta feel I
It's a,
gotta feel that void
it's a
because
good way to live.
it's yeah, but it's crazy to hear it on that end, like the way I'm saying it, because a lot of people won't say that. A lot of people like drama and like to be drawn into BS, bro. Like
Mm.
when I'm talking about, I feel blessed to be able to have not only my family, like the family who I'm with, I'm raising, and that's including close friends that I have in an area that I didn't grow up in. You know what I mean? I have some people that treat me better than some family members that I've been knowing my whole life, and they just met.
Oh yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
the fact that my family member, my family member, whoever I'm close to, wasn't capable.
For sure.
It just wasn't time.
For sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the energy that I'm required for you, you're not in that place to give it to me.
Well, yeah. I
So
mean,
why would I judge you for that? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Like God's
why would
gonna
I
put, yeah, God's gonna put the right people in your
it?
life, and He's gonna
That's it.
take the,
So
He's
all
gonna
I'm
take,
doing
yeah, yeah, and you gotta, and like that, and that's why I believe the that's why I look at it the way that I do is the right people are going to be in your life, and the people that are not supposed to be there are not going to be there. It's that
yeah,
simple.
they're gonna slide. They're gonna
Yeah.
ride out of there. And but at the same time, like thanks for the energy that you did give me, whatever positivity.
Yeah.
And then if you threw some actual hate out there and it drove me to break out something positive, thank you for
Yeah.
having
Right.
me grow as a person.
Just being grateful for them
Because
anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
your negative energy helped me get to a point to where I ain't thinking that I was ever gonna get, or it helped me get to the point where it opened my eyes to where I can maneuver through conversation a whole lot more. I can maneuver through energies. Like
Sure.
y'all ain't know everybody on this planet ain't doing ever teaching me that where I need to go and how I need to navigate it. Like I'm not gonna be tied down to somebody else's feelings. My sanity is more important than anybody's feelings, and that
Absolutely.
goes for
Absolutely.
the person that put me on this earth, all the way to the person who I'm sharing my life with. Like
Sure.
if I'm not 100%, why would you expect me to give you 100%? I can't give you. I can only give you what I have.
Mm.
But at some point, people in your life, if they're in there negatively, they're becoming a burden sometimes. Kind of, you watch some weight loss videos and they tell them, not the video, but the shows like The Biggest Loser. And then they'll put the 10-pound thing of wine in their backpack and have them run up the hill. And they'll be like, see, that's what happened. No, I'm not wearing a backpack. I ain't got nothing on my shoulder. I'm running free. If I want to run, I run. If I want to walk, I walk. I'm
Right.
not on your time.
Yeah.
This time is mine. I got to do this time by myself.
Sure.
So if I interject myself in your life now, it's to get you to progress to something that I know in some areas where it's fulfilling.
Sure.
And if you haven't gotten that, hey man, I know what that look like. I can drop you off at the door. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I ain't got to go in with you. You got to experience this yourself, but you got to navigate that. All I'm trying to be sometimes is the vessel a little bit. If I can, I
Absolutely.
don't have to be. I don't have to be. I don't have to say hey. I don't have to say I didn't have to do anything.
Mhm.
But if I'm taking my time out of energy to do it, you don't even have to respect that time because I'm still gonna move on.
Sure.
Like old people say, what you eat don't make me shit. Let's be real. So
Right.
but if I'm coming at everything with a pure intention, you don't necessarily have to give that back. You just know that if you're not a part of the ride no more, then I want you to get out of the line.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you stay in the line, I still can't perform where I need to be. And if I'm not that person that's going to be confrontational to you, I'm only going to hit you with words, and I'm really good at it. And you know me, you know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? You
Sure.
know if I'm if people know when I'm irritated, just like you said earlier, you know if I ain't laughing and joking, somebody got to check on me. You know what I mean? I
Right.
got something going on. But what was great to me, that the people who I've had in my life, they recognize that early. Hey man, come talk to me. Hey
Mm.
man, you helped me out with this. I gotta help you out. Not the fact that you feel like you owe me, but I have no idea of the conversation and the interaction we had, or how much, or how what the impact was to you. You can never quantify that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I can never put it in the words. I can only help to put it in the words for you to understand. But the impact of what we do now and later on, only those people can be able to feel like, hey man, like I hope what I'm doing for him helped me as much to him as it did for me whenever he had a conversation, whenever I was around him.
Sure.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing I can. That's the only thing I can be able to try to put back out there, man. Cause I got a son to raise, bro.
Yeah.
My daughter. I did a great job with my daughter.
Yeah.
I feel blessed to have the family that I have, and I'm blessed to have the people around me. Not only like yourself, but every two man that I had, every three man that I had. Oh, Jonathan Upchurch, I ain't forget about you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
all of these people who I've come in contact with, the Philip Beverleys and the Lawrence Hunts and the people who I was in the desert with, the William Warriors and the Derek Hatchies, and you know what I mean? Like the people that normally say that wasn't afraid to come tell me, hey Marcus, you fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all will be like, hey, that was kind of that was kind of I'm like, oh, and I always fell back. I never pressed forward
Yeah.
because I would want you to respect my space. You know what I mean? And I was talking to one of my students, and he was like, I was having a conversation with him, and the conversation was about people always say they need certain things, but when it's time to work to get some of those things, they're absent. You know, because we got a thing inside our school where we start giving out different things. Like I have a full kernel thing on that since all of the military. So whenever the students get 100 haircuts, we give them a star to
Mm.
represent the 100 haircuts, right? So now they're actually getting there and they're doing it. But you can't be one of the students talking about, hey, I don't have my star, but you're not there to cut hair.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
some things don't match up. Your intensity isn't matching
Your work
your
ethic.
your, your physics. You know what I mean? And but
Yep.
everybody, you know that you have it.
Right.
You know, but as an instructor, if I got 20 people on the floor, 20 people going through class, that means I got 20 different personalities, 20
Right.
different teaching styles, 20 different types of, hey, I got this problem going at home, 20 different types, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, I have to be there. And then it isn't anything different, what I was doing with the program with the young guy.
Sure.
But I'm dealing with adults now. This is adult education. I'm not supposed to tell you late for class, but the babysitter ain't there to take care of your baby. You got to make an option.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, what if your backup babysitter, they got something going on? They sick. You know what I mean? Like what if, you know, you have to quit your job to go into barber school. So the money that you would have in to do certain stuff. And you know, as soon as you do something like that, the car break down, you need a new refrigerator. You know what I mean? Like the whole tire fell off the car. Like, you know what I mean? You got weird stuff happening at the time that you're really trying to be positive and do something for yourself. So another one of my clients, he owned his own business. So he running a cleaning business. So within that cleaning business that he's doing, I said, hey, my guys at a certain point can't cut any hair because they're registered. Can't be in there. It's a regulation.
Mm.
But they're gonna need something in the interim. So if
Mm.
you have anything in this area that you can provide for my students to be able to get some type of financial relief, because they got student loans. They're gonna have to pay the student loans back. So if they have to quit their job or have to work two jobs to be able to fulfill the dream that I know that it's lucrative,
Mhm.
I gotta be a little bit empathetic about the situations that's going on.
Right.
I have to be able to try to relieve. So some of the money that I was getting, a good chunk of the money that I was getting from going to cut the kids' hair at the program, I'm like, hey, students, like, hey, I know you know what I mean, but here's something, at least gas money to get back home because you didn't have to
Mm.
drive out. This is your day off.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't want it.
commendable,
I don't
man.
want it all. I
Yeah.
want to be able to have it to where if I can help out in a certain type of way to keep coming to school because I know how it's going to be for me in the future, and it's a lot of people that is really lucrative. Like you seeing these $1 million barbers out here. You seeing these people that's out there working. So I can only inspire to do it. I don't care who do it first. I just have to be better. And the only way that I get better is to stay current. If I can stay current to do whatever I need to do, my work ethic and my drive is going to get me to where I need to be.
Sure.
So, you know, but also being able to articulate it in a way that I can instill it in my son or instill it in one of the barbers that like really feel down. Like this isn't working out the way that I needed to work out. These are the things that is happening the way that I need them to happen.
Mhm.
So, just bro, it's just been a blessing, man. And what I would actually do with my if I can be face to face with my younger self, man, I hug me, man. I hug me. I let me know it's all right. I let me know some things that either I'm about to do or shouldn't be doing that I need to stop. But I hug because nobody's really in here until you let it out.
Mhm.
And even when you let it out, it's filtered because a lot of people won't understand because they'll look at you funny. But I've
Yeah.
always been that weird eccentric guy anyway that's gonna say whatever I feel and it's gonna be funny. But at the same time, I'm I want to shut the hell up and sit down sometimes too. I don't want to talk to
Sure.
nobody because I'm
Yeah.
around people. I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I'm an extrovert to the max. I'm an orange, super orange. You know what I mean? If anybody took that class, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
so the first time I took that, so the time I took that, I was outrageously orange. But I took that window, and by the time I got into NCOA when I was in Germany, I was 2 points off of each one for having a perfect square.
Mm. Wow.
So
Wow.
so the development, so the develop, so if you understand what we're talking about, you understand that either you're going to be dominant in one of these things. Either you're going to be super analytical, you're going to be the super winged guy, and some people are going to be super empathetic, and then you're going to have that guy that I just need whatever. Like, just give me the information and I'm straight.
Sure.
But for me to be able to go from this extreme extrovert to being able to have it to where I can align myself to where I can really be comfortable in each area, that's how I knew my leadership or the people who have given me advice on leadership, showing me how to do it positively, and people showing me how to do it negatively too. But
Yeah.
people that gave me the opportunity, my drive isn't just for me. I don't want you seeing, I want you to feel like the time that you spent with me is well spent because we
Sure.
can't get time back.
Yeah.
And I want you to be able to feel like, damn, man, I met that guy and that guy gave me this, that, these, and those. That he have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
sure,
Because
I'm
some
sure
people
you,
have
I'm
the
sure you're doing that in a lot of people's lives. I know you
man,
are.
I man,
Yeah. I know you are.
and people are actually telling me now, so I'm really grateful and I'm really appreciative. Um, I'm humble. You know what I mean? Things like I'm not afraid to learn anything else,
Mhm.
anything different, because I know it's only going to make me better and make
Well, I'm
mine
glad.
better.
I'm glad you took. I'm glad you took all your experiences in your life and used it to get better. And that's why you are where you are now. But a lot of people won't do that. A lot of people won't. They can't take criticism, and they can't take you know, um, they don't want to learn from their experiences, so they, what do? They just keep going in this circle, right? And they keep finding themselves in the same spot every time, and I know, like,
every time.
I know everyone has vices and everyone has like things they have to work on, but that's just part of being human, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the big thing is like, are we learning from our lessons, right? And so, yeah, man, that's huge, and I appreciate you, not only you yourself doing that, but then you're also instilling that in people that you come in contact with, even with your children, with your family, right? Because
Yeah.
that's super
Yeah.
important, as being, being a dad and being a husband, like, you part of it is becoming a better father and being a better husband, all, and for your family, and even for their
And it's
families,
hard, bro.
God willing.
Hard,
Yeah, I get it, man. You know what I mean? I'm
hard
right.
for the,
I'm right there
especially
with you.
for, yeah, but especially for trying to explain your vision to certain individuals that doesn't have it as
Yeah.
strong as you.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
not
mean? Like
everybody's gonna get your vision because it's
that's
not
the
their vision.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then at the same time though, I want you to be excited because
Yeah.
I get people excited about my stuff. And what I find out getting people excited about my stuff and giving the information on why I'm excited.
Sure.
And then trying not only with that information, but relate it to what you got going on because we had that conversation. So to be
Yeah.
like, all right, man, this barber thing, podcasting, bro. So you're gonna blah 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 blah. So you already got that thing about what you're doing. But if I kind of segue and I kind of let you know the similarities between the two, now our relationship as a whole is grown because we just thought we had one thing, but then we have a lot of things that we have in common that we can be able to expand on and help each other be better because I've probably been through something that you're just getting there now.
Sure. Yeah.
So now you don't have to get it through the mud. You got somebody, a trusted advisor, that say, hey man, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying here's the options.
Sure.
Whether
Yeah.
you take them or not, because it's your own journey. And be okay if they take the right when you tell them to go left. You know what I mean? Because that's what a lot of people do. They want to be in charge of some shit that they ain't got no business being in charge of.
Right. No,
You
that's
know what I
absolutely
mean?
true.
Because
Yeah.
I tell people it's MARCUTS, not our cuts. Like I'm out here doing the fading and doing all these things to try to make sure I stay relevant and be cool out here. And but if it's not what you want to do, you won't understand of why I may be staying out late.
Yeah.
Or I said this was my last haircut, but it wasn't. That's even to myself. All right, man, I'm about to wrap it up. Three people
No,
come
you're
in.
good,
Well,
brother.
I'm
You're
about to
good, man.
unwrap
You're
these.
good. You're good. You're good. Now, we listen. We gotta do a part two for sure, because I didn't even get through
What's
half my
for?
questions. But no, man, I really no. Listen, I appreciate what you're doing. I really do. I see you, and
Absolutely, bro.
just to hear you talk about it, and make it more real for me, not only me, but everybody that's gonna watch this and hear this. um it really is commendable. Like I said, not everybody can have the same heart as you. And if they don't, fuck them, right? Not literally, but it's so
Swing,
good, it's so
swing for
great, it's so great
you.
to see. Like, I know we were joking earlier before we actually got on. I knew the Marcus before the Marcus now. That's the and it's so great to see you grow and become the man that you've become. And I know you still have great things ahead of you, and
Man,
um I again, we're going to do a part two, and I love to get
got
you
to.
on, and the ideas that you were
Absolutely.
talking about on this podcast. We're gonna talk about that on the next one, and see it come to
Yeah, yeah,
fruition
yeah.
for sure. And yeah, man, it's really good to sit down and talk to you, and I appreciate you being on, man. Thank you so
Absolutely, bro.
much. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'm honored, bro. I'm glad to see you doing what you're doing. I've been following you for a long time since we left Japan. It's been many moons ago.
Oh yeah.
But since
Many,
we
many
left that
moons.
yeah, it's been a lot of growth for all of us and to everybody who I mentioned, the
Sure.
people who I didn't mention, and there's no reason that I didn't need to. It's just the fact that it's so many people
Sure.
that have no idea of how much y'all helped me get to where I am. I can't say thank you enough. And that goes for everyone that shares my last name, everyone that we got family, we got the same mama, same daddy, whatever, same grandma. It doesn't matter, man. Like if we've been around each other and it's been positive,
Yeah.
bro, I sure appreciate y'all. And
No, man.
I can't
We're
do nothing but grind out, bro. I can't do
Yeah,
nothing but
man.
grind out, man,
There's
because
nothing but
that's the only way
not
y'all know me.
sky's the limit for you, brother. I appreciate you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you being on here, everybody.
Hey, bro. Yeah,
If
man.
you are
Anytime, man.
in the Tallahassee, right?
No, no. I'm
Oh,
in the
Pensacola. I'm sorry.
Pensacola,
Pensacola. I'm
Panama
sorry. I gotta
City.
see.
It's all
I'm
right.
already
We,
listen. I'm thinking.
yep.
I got contacts out there. I got a my boy. He's out there in Tallahassee. He has his own uh meal prep company. And I'm like
They
thinking
were.
ahead already. I'm thinking ahead because I was thinking, oh
They
yeah,
were.
Florida, northern Florida. But yeah. Nah, so if you're in the Pensacola area, check him out. What is it? What's the name of the business? Barbershop.
AHW Barber Academy is where I'm doing the instructor, the
Yes.
best barber academy.
Yes. And folks,
I'm gonna be doing that.
I will put his information below in the description box, website and
Yeah,
also
yeah,
for the
definitely
out
do that.
for the outreach program. If anybody is interested in helping you out, where can
Yes,
they
please.
reach you at as well? Do you have a website for
Please.
that
We
too?
need any and everything. I'm looking for any and everything. Somebody that's really like actually got it going. So
Yeah,
because a lot of these things we can hit the ground running first quarter. So
absolutely.
a lot of these kids and what I'm trying to do, a lot of people they have wasted these kids' time enough.
I know that
They've wasted staff time
I know that for a
enough.
fact. I know that for a fact. So
Yeah.
if you
So let's get
folks
it.
are in the
So
area, yeah, if you folks are in the
yes,
area and
please.
you guys want to volunteer or even donate, and
Yeah, man.
please hit up Marcus. I will put the information in the description boxes.